You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
On Fox 17 News this Monday morning, bomb threats emailed to Jewish groups around Nashville. The response from police and also leaders.
And here we are going into the week leading up to Christmas. Cold air here for us here, and a few of you, oh yeah, you might see some flurries, so that's the best chance in your Code Red forecast.
All right, Greg, thanks. Happy Monday to you. Thanks so much for starting your day with us here on Fox 17 News this morning. We are 1 week away from Christmas officially. We're glad to have you here. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover.
Let's get straight to one of our top stories new this Monday morning. Developing now, several Jewish-affiliated organizations in Nashville say they got bomb threats over the weekend.
So we're getting some more updates about this, including how a Nashville synagogue, the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville, and the Gordon Jewish Community Center, they all say, yeah, they got email threats on Sunday morning. Now, the threats were immediately deemed not credible, but Metro Police say they still checked every single building. The Jewish community in the U.S. is experiencing right now heightened anti-Semitism in recent weeks after Hamas' attack on Israel, and that started back in October. Listen.
Currently, on a scale of 1 to 10, our Jewish communal security is at a 15 and had already been there.
Rabbi Hortz, who you just heard from there, says he's also been in touch with the FBI, TBI, and the U.S. Attorney General's office.
Happening right now, Metro Nashville police are looking for a man who they say stole thousands of dollars from a bar on Woodland Street just yesterday morning. You're taking a look at pictures here as detectives say the man approached a bar employee while he was taking out the trash, pointed a gun at him, and then demanded to be taken to the bar's safe. That person then tied the employee to a chair and took off running. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 742-7463.
Goodness. Well, happening today, TDOT is set to release more information on their 10-year project plan. The Deputy Governor and TDOT Commissioner Butch Ely are going to share some more details about this plan, including a project map, potential choice lane corridors. We talked so much about the choice lanes.
Yes.
And TDOT's new project prioritization process.
Yeah, those choice lanes are now a hot topic because most people consider those to be toll lanes, but they're not calling them that. So today's announcement set to begin at 9 o'clock. We will have a crew there for you, and we'll bring you more information about that project on air and online at fox17.com.
At 4:02, we're checking in now with Greg Bobus back in this morning. Happy Monday to you, sir.
Happy Monday, and here we are. This is the big weather story here leading into the week. We're getting closer and closer to the bulk of holiday season. We're getting into what you would hope to be, if you like the cold and snow, a day that might give you a little bit of each depending upon where you're at. Cold air takes over for everybody. You're not escaping that. I'm going to tell you right now, you're going to walk outside, temperatures in the 30s, this afternoon 40s, tomorrow morning 20s. This is the big thing here. Who could see a few flakes flying later? Now, we've been very warm over the course of the last couple of days, so nothing is going to stick. But if you're in the Cumberland Plateau, and it's not a guarantee, but there's a chance. We could see a few snow flurries that pop up later on this afternoon, and then a warm up on the way by the end of the week. So today and tomorrow cold, and then warming into the upcoming weekend. We always talk about what is our code red threat level. I mean, sometimes we tune out for the weekend. I was gone for the weekend. I tuned out for the weekend. Then we tune back in and figure out what's going on for the rest of the week. Plateau snow for today, and then that is it. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Nothing in the forecast when it comes to rain or snow. Sunshine. So last minute plans, last minute shopping, whether it be for groceries or whether it be for the presents you still haven't gotten, you got to go pick up from wherever they may be. You're good to go. Taking a look here, cold front moves in. What this is going to do is basically two things. Give us some more sun for the afternoon, and it'll be windy. This is not one of those great hair days. This is one of those days where you're going to be bundled up and a hat's going to be a good idea, because 40s and 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, not a good combination. That's where we're at. You get the Fox 17 Code Red weather app. I tell you every day about it. It would have been helpful last Saturday when we had that bad severe weather outbreak. And it could also be helpful whenever we have just any run-of-the-mill rain or snow flurries that do move in. Sneak peek of the 7-day forecast. 46 today, 42 tomorrow. We'll talk more about the upcoming weekend here in a few minutes.
Greg, thank you so much. At 4:04, we are going to check in over there on Spence Lane to give you a live look at the traffic in this area. Again, I-40 Spence Lane, and here you go. There are no slowdowns, no brake checks, not a lot of people out on the road just yet. But listen, this is going to be a very busy week with all the holiday travel. So, of course, Fox 17 News, we have you covered all the way with your smart traffic updates.
It is just about 4:05 right now, and a bizarre story playing out involving murder, neighbors, and family members. We're going to get to the bottom of that here in minutes. Plus, a fire devastates a family's home. All five, this video just, when you look at this, it's an absolute miracle that everybody made it out alive. But we're going to share more of this video and tell you that story here in just a minute.
And Fox 17 News taking a live look over at Nissan Stadium. Let's talk about the Titans. Not exactly how we wanted it to end, but we'll talk about what's next. Stay with us and happy Monday. At 4:07, want to let you know the details of this story are disturbing, but we should let you know that a man was arrested over in Centerville for shooting and killing a neighbor and what the TBI says may be retaliation for the death of the man's father. The TBI says that 70-year-old Wallace Rideker was shot and killed, and that the investigation led detectives to his neighbor, 70-year-old David Cathan, as the suspect. But later, Cathan was found shot in his driveway. The TBI says 35-year-old John Renker, Wallace's son, is now under suspicion for this shooting, and that Renker is in custody without bond.
We have about a dozen human trafficking victims that have now been rescued in South Nashville. That's after the TBI agents ran a sting operation at the Super 8 on Murfreesboro Pike, arresting the person reportedly in control of the victims, and that's who we see right here behind us. Police say the victims told them that 50-year-old Yilibeth de Caldera brought them from sometimes as far away as Central and South America and then kept them from leaving.
The investigation, though, is ongoing, and they're going to be in court tomorrow morning. So if you know anything about this particular case, maybe you have some information that could help officers, you were asked to call 1-800-TBI-FINDS.
Again, that was at the Super 8 on Murfreesboro Pike in South Nashville for reference. We have a fire in Montgomery County that has destroyed a home from over the weekend, leaving 5 people now without their home right here ahead of Christmas. But they all say they are thankful that they made it out.
Yeah, especially when you take a look at this photo, it's hard to believe. Montgomery County Fire saying that the fire just took over the home before 2:30 p.m. It happened Saturday. The Red Cross now trying to help that family get back into a better situation. According to Zillow information, the house had just been bought earlier this year.
Oh, no.
Yeah, the cause of the fire, though, is still unclear.
4:09, taking a look at your Monday morning forecast. We're waking up dry for right now, but cold air moving in as we speak. You're going to get out the door, you're going to go, ooh, this is not as warm as it was the last couple of mornings. That's the case. By the time all is said and done, we're going to be in the low to middle 30s in a couple of hours from right now. Nothing on top of the radar, but I'm going to step away and show you what is coming our way and what folks to our north are dealing with. It is not the world's best situation, but it's by no means a reason to worry about what's coming our direction. If you hear the word snow at any point today, please do not be worried about it. It's not going to be a big deal. There could be a few light snow showers that move into the Cumberland Plateau. Look out, though, toward the north and the east. There are some areas that are having some winter weather advisories. They're going to see some decent snow in portions of eastern Kentucky out through West Virginia. You move toward the Virginia area as well. They'll eventually start to see this cold air move in, and the northwest just not looking great. The area of concern that we have to watch out for when it comes to us is going to be the Cumberland Plateau. We don't have any watches, we don't have any warnings, no advisories, but places like Crossville, Cookeville, Monterey, Livingston, even Tompkinsville. You could see a few light snow flurries later on this afternoon. Everyone else, mainly sunny. Temperatures going to only be in the 40s later on this afternoon.
Greg, thanks so much. Steer clear traffic time. The good news here this early in the morning, we don't have any problems. This is a live look I-65 at Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. So this is for all of our friends north of Nashville. Looking real good here on your morning commute. We'll keep you posted in steer clear traffic again here in just a few minutes.
Coming up, tension growing over Israel's war in Gaza and the huge numbers of civilians who are still in danger. Plus a car crash into the president's motorcade. Yep, the swift response from Secret Service and what we know so far.
Alert.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. It is 4:13, Monday, December 18th. We are 1 week away from Christmas Day. Going to feel a little bit more like Christmas. In case you missed it, Greg was saying that cold weather going to stick around through tonight. We could be in the teens overnight into tomorrow morning. So he's going to detail all that for you. Plus, get the rest of your work week outlook in minutes. As the death toll rises in Gaza and the humanitarian situation is more serious, Israel's war with Hamas starting to lose some international support. Some leaders insist there are rights to defend itself that remain a top priority.
Right now, we're going to listen to Christine Frizzell with the very latest with this escalating war over in the Middle East.
It's just the latest sign that a war supposed to be between Israel and Hamas is drawing others in. The United States and Britain reporting shooting down at least 14 attack drones launched from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen, with 3 additional U.S. Navy destroyers making their way to the region.
We will continue to stay very focused on not only deterring, but also protecting our forces.
The violence prompting major shipping companies to pause all activity in the Red Sea until further notice. As the death toll and humanitarian crisis inside Gaza grow more dire, Israel is doubling down on its position that it won't stop the fighting until its mission is accomplished.
As we pursue Hamas, and we will defeat Hamas, we will destroy its military machine, we will end their rule of Gaza.
But cracks in support for Israel appear to be growing larger. More European Union and U.S. leaders calling for an end to the fighting.
A Jewish baby and a Palestinian baby are babies. I don't want to see any baby die. So first of all, we got to take that on. We got to get a ceasefire.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan also calling for Israel to scale back its attacks.
There will be a transition to another phase of this war, one that is focused in more precise ways on targeting the leadership.
But Prime Minister Netanyahu continues to dismiss international pressure, telling his government, "We will fight to the end, achieve all of our goals, and eliminate Hamas." But pressure is also mounting from inside Israel after the IDF mistakenly killed 3 Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. One of them, 26-year-old Alon Shamriz, whose father we spoke to only last week.
I don't want him to be injured. I want him back safe. We're putting a pressure on our government to make a deal, put a deal on the table, release all the hostages.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is the next top White House official to visit Israel in the coming days, where he's expected to voice support for its mission to destroy Hamas, but also demand much more clarity on the next, more focused phase of the war. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are saved after a car collided into a vehicle that was part of his motorcade over in Wilmington, Delaware.
All right, scary moments here. Let's roll the video. President Biden attending a campaign event just last night when this crash happened. The new video in this morning shows Secret Service agents quickly escort Mr. Biden into an SUV moments after all this happened. Police then surround the car in question. They can be heard telling the driver, "Keep your hands up." And that's what we see right here. That white sedan is what was involved. The Bidens did ultimately go back to their house in Delaware. There's the president. You can see him walking and kind of standing around, looking to be okay after all that.
At 4:16, we're checking in now with Greg because you heard Jen earlier. She said the temperatures in the teens.
We're going to feel like the holiday season.
I was just reading your morning update, so.
That's one of those things where I come back, and whenever I come back from being off for a couple of days, I always throw you kind of a little boomerang where, I throw something out there, but then we come right back to where we were. So we were warm yesterday. We're going to be cold today and tomorrow, and we'll go right back to where we were by Wednesday. So we're talking 50s and 60s by the end of the week.
I know a lot of folks are already wondering about the Christmas forecast.
Oh, I can get that. I've already got one that I'm looking. No, it's a preliminary one.
Well, that's what. See, I feel like it's still a week out. So for everybody who's kind of jonesing about the Christmas forecast, give it a couple days.
Yes,
we'll know better.
I'll give you my first thoughts on it. When it comes to temperature, especially because that's usually locked down pretty well. But as far as any precipitation chances, those are the ones that can change very quickly. But we'll give you the first thoughts on what it's looking like moving into Christmas Eve, which will be Sunday, into Christmas Day on Monday of next week. Have you finished your shopping yet? I heard 2 yeses. Guess who's got a no? I got enough. I mean, I got stuff, but I'm not done yet. Taking a look here. So if you're not done, channel your inner Greg and we'll get it done this week. Here we go. Cold air takes over. We're going to have temperatures that will be in the 40s this afternoon and tomorrow afternoon. This morning, 30s. Now, there could be a few flurries this afternoon. It's not going to be for everyone at all. East of I-65, you push from the Cumberland Plateau, the upper elevations, a little bit colder. And when I say flurry, I mean a couple of flakes could be flying, and they're not going to stick. Little to no accumulation is going to be expected because of how warm we've been. All of our surfaces are very warm from over the weekend, and a warm-up is on the way. Code red threat level is in the all clear. Plateau snow, that's what we're going to watch out for later on today. It's not going to impact your day, but it might look pretty when you're out there. 46 today, 42 degrees tomorrow, 22 overnight tonight. Today is going to be breezy. Wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour. Tonight will be breezy. So that 22-degree low is going to feel even colder than that as you wake up with us tomorrow morning. Y'all have finished your shopping and everything's already wrapped and all that stuff? Really?
Well, I don't go shopping, so that's why I can say yes. Grocery shopping, that's the concern.
Oh, there you go. Okay.
There you go.
Shopping is shopping, Erica.
It is. Hey, if you're hitting the road to go shopping right now, I don't think you are, but hey, it's 4:19.
Trying to beat the crowds.
Listen, you're beating the crowds. You're really
They're
on
not
top
open
of it.
yet.
Well, I don't know. I-24 at Walden Road. We're giving you the all clear. There are no crashes. There are no disabled vehicles over there. It's looking great on I-24 Walden Road.
Walmart is open right now.
Oh, it is?
You're right. Yeah. I mean, there are definitely places you can be
Hey, it's a good idea to go out there and get some shopping done.
There's no crowds. That's for sure.
I'll take it.
All right. 4:19 is the time. Right now, we got to talk Titans. In case you missed the game yesterday, we'll get you caught up on all the headlines. Plus, look ahead to this coming weekend. What are the Titans going to be playing for? Well, that's a big question. We'll take a closer look at the loss yesterday and those playoff chances.
And we're not just talking about football, we're also talking about hockey. The Nashville team is skating ahead of the competition. The Preds' win streak continues, and the highlights from over the weekend.
Live look this morning from Nashville, kicking off our Monday. Fairly mild this morning, a 41 in Nashville, but we're going to have a cold snap overnight. So make sure you're taking care of the pets, the pipes, and the plants as we get into your Monday night. 3 Ps, please.
Merry.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. All right, let's talk Titans. Rough weekend. Disappointing end to the season on a couple of levels. So they lost, for starters, 19-16 to the Texans. The Texans didn't even have their starting quarterback.
Ouch.
We get into overtime, and right at the end of the game, we also had our starting quarterback, Will Levis, go out with an injury. So we have the injury issue, and we're now out of the playoffs.
Yeah, the Titans came out of the gates pretty strong and scored on their opening drive thanks to a rushing touchdown by Will Levis, but the Texans quickly shut down the Titans offense, and after that, they held star running back Derrick Henry to a career-low 9 rushing yards. Now, Texans were able to score a touchdown in the final minutes of the game to tie it up at 16-16 and then send it into overtime. That's when Texans kicker made a 54-yard field goal for the game winner. That's a tough heart.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is. And by the way, we hope to get an injury update on Will Levis either today or tomorrow. He did say after the game last night when they did their post-game interviews that it could have been a whole lot worse. He was standing at the podium, so we'll wait and see how that all shakes out. Let's talk Preds, because something clicked with the Nashville Predators over this last month. They are what looks to be a completely different team than what we saw at the start of the season. In their first 15 games, the Preds were 5-10. In their latest 15 games, they're 12-3.
Well, the Preds, coming off an overtime win Friday against the Canes, turned around quickly Saturday night to host the Washington Capitals. Nashville on the board first, thanks to a power play goal by Colton Sissons. Capitals tied it up in the second, but Preds responded and kept the energy up in the third, ending it up at a score of 3-1.
UC Saros, another impressive night in the net. He stopped 21 of 22 shots taken. So the Preds win their 4th in a row. Next up, they're going to host the Vancouver Canucks here in Nashville tomorrow night.
We're looking ahead to the weekend forecast because there's a big holiday happening.
There is. Well, now we're going to be in the 50s for the weekend. As of right now, I've got some rain penciled into the forecast. So we'll talk about that and take a look of why I said pencil and not pen. Because this could go one of 2 different ways depending upon how weather system moves in. Today, look at your screen. We're going to be windy. No way around this, no matter where you are at. We're going to have wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour with temperatures that will only be in the 40s for the afternoon. That means wind chill values could be in the 30s all day long. So sunshine for Nashville, a couple of plateau flurries can't be ruled out. Take a look here. Nothing happening right now this morning over downtown Nashville. The ever-growing skyline, taking a look at our visibility tracker. No issues there as well, which is good. So what we have to tackle here coming up, and this is Monday. This is the last Monday before we get to Christmas. We're 7 days away. We've got 1 weekend left. You may have a lot of things you have to get accomplished here between now and then. And taking a look at the forecast going forward, we will look at temperature that's going to be very cold tonight. How cold we'll go compared to where we're supposed to be. Then we'll look at a gradual warm up into the weekend and really hone in on those penciled in chances for rain on Saturday and Sunday.
Alrighty, Greg, thanks. Steer clear traffic time right now at 4:25. All's quiet on the home front. This is I-65 at Rosa Parks. This is near Metro Center. So for all of you who get up early and head into Metro Center, no traffic issues right now. In fact, we are crash-free in the mid-state, so that's good news here on a Monday.
At 4:26, Fox 17 News is continuing our team coverage talking about the deadly tornadoes that rocked the mid-state and how the cleanup continues over in Springfield.
Yeah, in fact, we've got a live look there this morning from Robertson County. Kevin, our photojournalist, is there, and he's giving us a live look from the parking lot that includes a Kroger, the Kroger fuel station, which is what we see here on the left. They had a lot of damage. But that building on the right where you see the Springfield mural, that's where a Jet's Pizza was obliterated. Urgent care gone. The AT&T store badly damaged. So we're on the back side of the damage from this perspective. This is right along Memorial Boulevard there in Springfield. So we know that Robertson County, one of 5 counties highly impacted by these tornadoes. And EF2 touched down here. But Robertson County is the only location not covered under President Biden's disaster declaration. The U.S. Small Business Administration is issuing low-interest disaster loans to help people rebuild, and business owners in Robertson County do qualify for some of those loans.
We're live this morning in Clarksville. This is where the Red Cross is moving their shelter. We're going to tell you where coming up.
In Fox 17 News, showing you a live look at Nashville's skyline this morning, reminding you that our temperatures are scrolling on the right side of your screen. Even during commercial breaks, bundle up, grab a jacket, and have a great Monday.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News This Morning, some good news. Yeah, getting toys to children who would have not had a Christmas. More on the massive charity effort.
Waking up this morning, nothing happening right now, but boy, is it cold outside. It only gets colder. How long this little cold snap, and I call it a snap, it's not going to last that long, will be coming up in your forecast.
And right now, looking into steer clear traffic, this is I-65 down at Moores Lane in Brentwood. Looking good on your commute right now from Williamson County. Fairly quiet, not a lot of cars out there on the road. But we're here for you with steer clear traffic every few minutes to keep you posted, live through 9.
We're going to start, though, by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Monday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We want to continue our team coverage this morning after the devastating tornadoes that came through Middle Tennessee. Our Fox 17 News reporter Justin McFarland is joining us live in Clarksville, where there are some changes on the way today.
Yes, there are. There are going to be changes here at the American Red Cross shelter. We're just outside of Northeast High School here in Clarksville, and this is where the American Red Cross has had their disaster relief shelter set up here for the last week since that storm took place last Saturday here. It is dark. I would show you around, but in all honesty, it is really tough to see what's happening here. But the important thing to note is exactly where it's going to be moving to. It's going to be leaving this location here at Northeast High School, and it's going to be moving over to the Park Lane Church of the Nazarene. That's located at 225 Cunningham Lane here in Clarksville. They're going to be moving their locations over there to make sure they have enough space for everyone who is in need at this particular moment. They say the school has been a wonderful resource for them, and they are thankful to the school system for everything that has been provided to them. But now they think it's the time in order for them to make that transition. That transition will be happening later today at around 2 o'clock. So if you need help here in the Clarksville area, this is not the place to come. You need to go over there to the church at 225 Cunningham over here in the Clarksville area. Now, there is still additional resources that are available for pickup. You can apply for short-term disaster relief here in Montgomery County, especially if you have lost your job or know someone who has because of the storm. You can apply for the short-term relief, unemployment relief from the federal government. You can do so through the state of Tennessee. That is open and available as well. Coming up, we're going to be hearing from the local school board members here in Clarksville, Montgomery Montgomery County. They have a lot to be thankful for, but they still say there's a lot to be had and a lot needed to help these families recover. We're going to learn more about that coming up here a little bit later in the morning. For now, live in Clarksville, I'm Justin McFarland, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
A lot of work to come, Justin, thank you. And you can get more local reporting just like that delivered right to your inbox by signing up for our Fox 17 News daily newsletter. It is right here. You can do so by heading on over to the homepage at fox17.com.
Alrighty, 4:32 is the time on your Monday, and Greg is back off vacation. Had a chance to celebrate Christmas with your family, which
Oh, it was beautiful.
sounds like a great time.
You know, anytime you can see anybody that means anything to you, in a good way.
Yeah.
In a good way.
It's all good.
Over the holidays.
No shade.
no shade thrown there. No, it was fantastic. And now we're back. We're here, and I'm bringing cold air with me. I came from the Midwest, so it just kind of followed me.
It fits. Okay.
So, I mean, here we are, and a couple of snowflakes are possible.
All right.
Now, I say snowflakes impossible. I don't want you to freak out about this one. That's not going to be a big deal. It's not going to close down roads. We're not going to be worried about anything like that. But here's what the bottom line is for snow possibility today. And really, it's a flurry possibility. East of I-65, out toward the plateau. You're going to be in Nashville and have a cloudy start to your day that will end up being sunny and windy with wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour, but you'll have some sunshine. So cold, windy, and sunny for the Nashville area plateau. A couple of flakes flying, no accumulation. Now, if a couple of flakes stick for a few seconds, don't send me your photos. Give it an hour, they'll be gone, because the ground is just so warm from the last weekend we just had. Here's the map of the best chance to see a couple of flakes flying. It's the typical culprits this time of the year. And no, I don't mean culprits as in you who live there. I mean the typical elevations. Cookeville, Crossville, Monterey, Tompkinsville, all these areas have the possibility of some snow flurries. And it's not even a guarantee. It's a really, really small chance, but it's there. Don't want to catch you off guard. So the weather story is that the cold air does take over. Warm up is on the way. Here's your 7-day forecast. Let's get right to it here on the Monday before we get into the Christmas weekend. 46 degrees today, 42 tomorrow, 50s. Warm up. Look at the weekend. That's not Christmas weather. That's not holiday weather. That is way above average weather. Upper 50s to right near 60 on Saturday and Sunday.
4:34 is the time, and right now we do want to check in on your steer clear traffic and hopefully save you some time before heading out the door. So how about a live look? I-40 American Road. There are no slowdowns in this area at all, looking fantastic for this spot.
It's 4:34 now, and happening today, we go to Kentucky, where Governor Andy Beshear is set to unveil his new budget for the state. Now, the governor did not release any specifics other than to say he wants to invest in children, open new doors of opportunity for people, and make sure that Kentucky communities and families are safer than ever. So that's somewhat vague, we understand, but we'll get more details on his proposed budget throughout the morning.
We're also getting some more details on this fantastic story. More than 7,500 kids who would not have had Christmas otherwise now have multiple gifts to open, all thanks to this weekend's last-minute toy store.
It's a classic event here in the Mid-State. It comes through every year for these families. This year's effort ran all weekend long, and look at all the folks who were, kind of like Santa's elves. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office and more than 1,000 volunteers work year-round to make sure the tables are lined with gifts for families in need. New toys, stocking stuffers, books, board games, sports equipment, you name it, they've got it, even gift cards for teenagers.
It's fantastic. This event draws people either donating or helping out from across Middle Tennessee and even out of state.
Because we're all volunteer, we don't have staff promoting and doing all of that out there. It's just word of mouth and grace of God that people hear about it.
Oh, love that. Now, one person who certainly knows about it is the CMA New Artist of the Year. That's Jelly Roll.
Go Jelly Roll.
Yeah, the country star rolled up to the last-minute toy store with a huge truck full of gifts. Look at that. He loaded up one of his tour trucks and then dropped it off over the weekend.
That's a blessing.
It really is. He grew up, by the way, in case you didn't know this, he grew up in Antioch.
I didn't know that. So many folks are proud to claim him if you talk to people over in Antioch. And hey, with Christmas just about a week away, what is the status of your holiday shopping list? Some folks are going to hear this question and kind of get a little bit stressed out.
I know. We don't want to stress you out. We were just kind of curious. Right now, about 47% of you say you're done. 32% say you're partially complete. And then 20% of you say you haven't even started. There are people who like to live on the edge. They enjoy that, you know.
Can I tell you what my pastor said?
What?
My pastor said he gets the kids gifts before Christmas, but for anybody like the adults, he waits until after.
So he can get the sales?
For the sales.
How funny. 4:37 is the time right now. Tornado cleanup efforts continuing here this Monday morning. We have a live look in Springfield as that community continues to come together to rebuild.
Before severe.
At 4:39 right now, Fox 17 News showing you a live look over on Lower Broadway where there's already flashing lights and a couple of folks who are down there. This area is going to look a lot different over the coming days with folks heading into Nashville, into Music City to celebrate Christmas and the holidays, especially New Year's Eve celebrations that are going to be happening in the city. We're going to take another look at the New Year's Eve celebrations and what you need to know, details and timing and locations. We're going to have that throughout our newscast up until 9 o'clock.
And this morning, Fox 17 News continues our team coverage as so many of our communities are in the cleanup phase after the tornadoes happening more than a week ago. One of those locations that got hit hard is Robertson County, specifically Springfield, right along Memorial Boulevard. And that's where we have our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey live this morning showing us some of that damage. This is the strip mall that, and what you're looking at there is what used to be Jet's Pizza. It's destroyed. The Kroger fuel pumps still shut down. You can't get gas at the Kroger right there. One of the things I wanted to tell you about was something that happened over the weekend in Springfield. They had a huge community come together to feed all of the first responders. So the power crews, the police, the traffic department, and they provided meals almost all weekend long. So places like the Depot Bar and Grill, the new Chick-fil-A they just opened on Tom Austin Highway, BS Brew Works, Colorado Grill, just to name a few. I mean, the list is long, but they just really wanted to put out a note of appreciation to all of these places for stepping up and helping the community. Deja Mu, which is a little ice cream place there. So just, you know, when we talk about the recovery efforts, it's not just about the cleanup. A lot of times it's about the community and how they come together to surround each other. Yeah.
And the cleanup, as you can see here, we're still just getting this whole thing going here. And I'll tell you right now, it's going to be very cold today and very cold tomorrow. And I've been mentioning the word snow. And everyone wants to know, do we have snow for Christmas? Do we have a white Christmas? First of all, what is a white Christmas? Here's the definition. At least 1 inch of snow that is on the ground at 7 o'clock in the morning. That's very specific. Basically, you want the entire ground to be covered with snow as you wake up on Christmas morning. That's a white Christmas. This year, I've got our white Christmas dream meter. Maybe you want one.
What? No, stop it.
Oh, no. It's going to be 50 in the morning when we wake up and 60 degrees during the afternoon. So maybe next year. This is not going to be a white Christmas year for us, unfortunately. It's going to be a very warm Christmas, which means maybe you're traveling to or from somewhere Christmas Day for that nice meal or just to open up presents. Weather will not be a problem, but there won't be any snow on the ground.
Erica and I are on opposite sides of the fence with this one.
You are.
Erica says, no, thank you. I say, bring it on. Just the flurries.
I don't want it. No. But hey, let's talk about holiday travel out there. This is a live look. I-40, Donaldson Pike, the airport, which we know is typically a very busy spot on Monday mornings. And as of right now, you can see that exit ramp to get off to the airport is already starting to see the flashing lights and get a little bit of build up there. Give yourself some extra time if you're heading to the airport this Monday. We'll continue giving you traffic updates, though, up until 9 a.m.
Still to come on Fox 17 News this morning, the story surrounding the man on your screen right here, Alex Jones, who's now offered a new settlement to the parents of Sandy Hook victims. Why that offer is lower than what a judge has required.
And former President Donald Trump keeping a lead in the polls. Perspective from our Fox News correspondents.
Merry Christmas.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Just about 4:45 right now, and Alex Jones asking the families of the Sandy Hook school shooting to accept a fraction of the more than $1 billion worth of debt that he owes them.
Well, the InfoWars host had declared bankruptcy after being ordered to pay nearly $1.5 billion in damage to several of the families. This came after he lost a pair of civil cases over false claims saying the 2012 shooting was a hoax. According to court documents filed Friday, Jones proposed a settlement that would guarantee the group at least $5.5 million a year for a decade. In exchange, the families would give up all legal claims against him. The proposal comes a month after the Sandy Hook families filed court documents where they suggested Jones pay at least $8.5 million per year for a decade. A hearing for the judge to consider the proposal is set for the end of February.
Former President Donald Trump is maintaining his considerable lead over his competitors, but drawing new criticism now for remarks on the campaign trail about immigrants.
Fox News' Mark Meredith has the updates on the race for the White House.
New Fox News polling shows former President Trump dominating among the Republican field and leading President Biden in a hypothetical rematch. Our new survey out today showing Trump would beat Biden by 4 points. Trump was in New Hampshire on Saturday. He had a lot to say about President Biden, his Republican competition, but it was comments on immigration, which are generating fierce pushback from Democrats.
You know, when they let, I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country, when they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
The Biden-Harris campaign putting out a statement afterwards saying he is betting he can win this election by scaring and dividing this country. He's wrong. In 2020, Americans chose President Biden's vision of hope and unity over Trump's vision of fear and division, and they'll do the same next November. This weekend, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he's in Iowa barnstorming the state. Even as one of his most notable operatives, strategist Jeff Rowe announced he's leaving a DeSantis-aligned super PAC, and it's one of the many staff shakeups we've seen rattling the DeSantis operation in recent weeks. As for former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, she heads to Iowa tonight after securing a major endorsement from New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu. And we heard from Governor Sununu today, and he says he believes that Haley is actually doing much better than the polls suggest.
It's an absolute win. No, it's a win and a reset button. If everyone that could vote in the primary comes out and votes, not only she's going to win in a landslide, and that's not an exaggeration.
This weekend, we're also hearing from former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. He's now going after Nikki Haley right here in New Hampshire. He says he believes Haley is enabling Trump because she's been less openly critical of the former president. In Hampton Falls, New Hampshire, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Hey, we have a breakfast food heads up for you. We have a recall involving Quaker Oats, and I know a lot of you have this as part of your breakfast or maybe for snacks throughout the day. Quaker Oats recalling more than 24 of its granola bars and granola cereal because they say there is a chance some of it might be contaminated with salmonella.
Overall, the company is recalling 25 types of chewy bars, 10 types of granola bars, and 8 types of granola cereal. Take a look here because if you have any of the products, you were asked to go ahead and throw them out immediately. Quaker representatives say it has not received any reports of anyone getting sick, but people should visit the company's website for more information on which products the company is recalling.
Okay, good to know. Hey, 4:48, I realized something last night, speaking of food. I don't have to pack any more school lunches.
I saw your post about that and laughed out loud because packing lunches, I mean, I'm not there yet, but I can imagine it takes a lot of time.
It does. And listen, I'm grateful that I'm able to pack those lunches for these kids, but I was going through the routine last night, you know, the Sunday night thing, and I was getting ready to, I was like, oh man, what am I going to, wait, half days because they have exams and so they're out half a day, so we don't even have to worry about it.
But how many extra meals do you have to make now?
Well, we have a teenage boy in the house, so
That's
we
why I was
make
asking.
a lot of food.
So maybe you're kind of flip-flopping from doing the early lunch pack into the later meal prepping.
He eats all the time.
But it'll be great to have him home, though.
Oh, yeah, heck
This is that time of the year when it's just great when the whole family can get back together. That's the best way to do it. And if you have any plans this week, let's get you into what you're working through. And you can plan the entire week to do anything outside, but temperatures are going to fluctuate a little bit day to day. Some days you want a winter coat. Some days you might even be able to get away with just a long sleeve shirt and, you know, a casual pair of jeans and get outside and be comfortable. Right now, we're not comfortable. This is the feels like temp. Now, this will get worse tomorrow morning. These numbers are going to be in the teens. We're starting off in the low to middle 30s. Not terrible by any means. So this is the beginning of the cooling air that moves in for us. That's where we're at now. We'll be in the 40s later on this afternoon. Current temperatures right side of your screen, and your breakfast forecast will drop us down into the 30s. Now, you're going to see a few 40s right over there. Well, we don't have sunrise until 2 hours from now. So until the sun comes up, temperatures continue to go down. We're partly to mostly cloudy to start the day. We'll be mainly sunny this afternoon. This cold front's going to move in. It will bring in a lot of wind. 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts later on this afternoon. Coming up in a few minutes, look at your 7-day forecast. And next hour, we are back to getting you your dog of the day here on Fox 17 News This Morning.
Greg, thank you. Steer clear traffic time 10 minutes before 5 o'clock, and all's quiet on the home front still. I love it when we can bring you that encouraging news. Steer clear traffic I-40 at 2nd and 4th Avenue. No issues here as you approach the downtown loop. And I'm going to do a quick check here just to make sure we don't have any backups. No, we really don't have any backups. The airport, I'm going to go out on a limb here and say, I think the parking situation that they have changed over there, allowing you for the free first 30 minutes of parking at the airport, has helped with the congestion. So not even big backups there right now, but we always keep an eye on things for you. More traffic updates in a few minutes.
All right, we're talking about the holidays. The National Labor Retail Board is trying to compel Starbucks to reopen 23 stores that closed last year. I feel like there's a Starbucks on every corner though.
Yeah.
But here you go.
Yeah.
A regional director filed a complaint against the coffee giant Wednesday, claiming the chain violated federal labor laws by closing down select stores. The complaint went on to say that Starbucks failed to provide prior notice to workers within the labor union, which then took away the union's opportunity to negotiate on closure decisions. 8 of the 23 stores closed down were unionized, and now the union wants Starbucks to go ahead and reopen and then rehire their employees, bargain with the unions, and provide back pay and benefit compensation. Starbucks says the claims are meritless, and the company says they're going to go ahead and defend their business decisions.
Interesting. Hey, a big uptick in spending this time of year could certainly cause a lot of hangovers into the new year. How much debt is getting racked up right now? Sadly, it is a lot. In fact, probably record breaking. Bank rate experts say this buy now, pay later system that's come up and become really popular, these buy now, pay later programs that a lot of businesses are using, will, yes, delay your payments, but could spell trouble in the next year. Bankrate says that savings during the pandemic are now gone. So whatever you might have saved up working from home and whatnot, most people say that savings is gone, and there's more debt now, especially connected to these buy now, pay later programs. It's not layaway. It's not really a credit card. It's like they let you break up payments through their own system. Adobe data says the use of these buy now, pay later programs is up 40% just since last year. Some services are billed as interest-free loans. Like I said, they have their own program where they can let you pay back in payments. But financial experts say these could really trick you right into spending way more than what you can afford.
All right, watch out for that. Coming up, though, there is a special opportunity for those dreaming of a new furry friend. We're going to tell you about that right here on Fox 17 News. And a thrift store purchase turning into a huge windfall for one Virginia woman. More in a couple of minutes. Yeah, she made a lot of money.
Red alerts from Fox.
Good morning and welcome back to Fox 17 News This Morning. It is 4:55 right now. Live look on Lower Broadway. Busy weekend. We had the Preds playing. They're going to be back at home tomorrow night, by the way. So if you've got a short week and you're looking for something to do with the family, head out and see the Preds tomorrow night. Always something happening there in the heart of downtown Nashville.
Yeah, you just saw the Lower Broadway, so what does it feel like if people are out there right now? 41 degrees. Temperature overcast right now in the Nashville area. This is actually helpful. Nighttime cloud cover, I love it in the winter because it's like having that nice, blanket over you overnight. It keeps the warmth in and keeps it close to ground level. That's not going to be the case tonight. Clouds will lift going into the afternoon. Tomorrow morning, 20 degrees colder than right now. I've been mentioning the chance for a few flurries. The chance keeps going down with every update that I see to everything I'm seeing when it comes to the weather. Cumberland Plateau, you're going to have the most cloud cover throughout the morning hours into the afternoon. Look at this. I don't even see a speck of blue popping up here on Future Track. That does not mean that there won't be a light flurry. What it does mean is if you see a flake or two flying, enjoy it, smile at it, and be happy that it's not going to stick. And then we're going to go into a pattern of warming going into the upcoming end of the week and the weekend, leading us into Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. We're going to look at that forecast, how much warmer we're going to be after a really big cold snap as we go into our 5 o'clock half hour. We'll also show you your 7-day forecast right out of the gate, just so you know what you can expect over the next 7 days leading into the upcoming holiday.
Greg, thank you so much. At 4:57, do want to check in once again at the another look here, I-24 at Haywood Lane.
Well, this is curious. Kind of hard to tell what we've got going on here, but a situation for sure off to the far right shoulder. I'm going to see if I can pull this up here in the TDOT map system and just see if it's giving us any indication as to what's going on. I would guess here 2 cars involved, but I don't see police or TDOT on the scene just yet. So we'll monitor this. We're going to work to see if we can get you some more information. Anything, y'all know this already, but anything that happens on I-24 coming into Nashville is going to be a problem, even in the early hours. So we'll work to get you some more details here and check in again in just a few minutes.
Hey, have you been considering adopting a pet? Now could be a fantastic time to go ahead and adopt, and all doing it at a discount.
Yeah, this is a great opportunity for those of you who are considering, bringing home maybe a new cat or a dog for Christmas. Metro Nashville Animal Care offering $25 adoptions for the rest of the month. The shelter is open noon to 4, 7 days a week, so you can head on over, get to know, the dogs and the cats, get familiar with the animal center, and make sure you check those hours before you go. And remember, and this is such an important reminder, pets are not a good surprise gift, all right? And if you're getting a pet here for Christmas, it's a long-term commitment. So they want to make sure that these babies are going to great homes long-term.
All right, you really have to listen to this story. There was a cheap find at a thrift store that turned into a 6-figure deal for one Virginia woman. I always hear these stories and think, why can't this happen to me? But take a look at this vase, because this is what led to that 6-figure payout.
I mean, it would seem kind of unassuming, right? Like, oh, well, anybody could have taken a paintbrush and painted this bottle. It's just a glass bottle, but no. This was a vase bought at a Richmond, Virginia Goodwill store. The lady bought it for $3.99. Well, it just sold for more than $107,000.
Oh, my goodness.
This is apparently a rare type of Italian glasswork here. They say it had all the markings indicated it was Murano glass, which is made in Italy.
Yes. Okay, I've heard of Murano glass.
Well, apparently that's what this is. So she bought it. She was kind of curious about it. She shared pictures of it on a Facebook group, and that's where everybody immediately said, yep, that's exactly what this is.
I'm just thinking, if I'm the owner of this, it was mine and I gave it to Goodwill, I'm sick right now.
Right.
Because, okay.
Yeah, so they verified it. It's authentic. Initially, get this, it was valued between $30,000 and $50,000, but it sold for, again, more than $107,000.
I wonder why it doubled. Interesting. Okay, stay with us. 5 o'clock hour starting right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning. Now on Fox 17 News, bomb threats emailed to Jewish groups around Nashville. The response from police and religious leaders.
Winter feels come in, but not for long. How long cold temperatures last and how windy we're going to be for later on this afternoon coming up in your Code Red forecast.
All right, Greg, thanks. Welcome back. Thank you for joining us for Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. We're going to get started here on Fox 17 News talking about another day of cleanup in parts of Clarksville and Montgomery County. Dozens of people are just trying to put their lives back together during the holiday season, and it's going to take a lot of work.
Yeah, for it to happen at this time of year is just especially heartbreaking, but we are seeing the resilience of our community coming together to do just that. Fox 17 News' Justin McFarland joining us live this morning in Clarksville.
Yeah, good morning. It's been a weekend full of volunteers who have come out and tried to help people put their lives back together a little bit. But there's still a lot of work to do. Some of this can not simply be done in one day. This is one neighborhood here in Clarksville that was hit extremely hard. You can see nothing left but piles of debris after that EF2 or EF3 tornado came tearing through this particular home and neighborhood. Talking with some community leaders a little bit earlier in the week, last week rather, they are talking about how thankful they are, despite the devastation that you see, about the response they've seen because of it.
I have to say the storm came within 2 football fields of my home. And we were blessed not to be affected. But right around the corner, there are people who don't have a home anymore. They'll have to be demolished. And I want to say that it's going to be kindness that's going to get them through. And oh, the satisfaction of being kind to another. And let us continue to try to perform an act of kindness every day.
And those acts of kindness do continue across Clarksville and Montgomery County as a lot of people are giving to charities here, trying to make sure that the people in need are both clothed and fed and, of course, are giving shelter as the temperatures continue to drop, as Greg has just been talking about. As a matter of fact, the American Red Cross says they're going to be moving their shelter currently from Northeast High School over to another church at 225 Cunningham Street. That's going to be happening a little bit later in the day. For a complete list of all the resources available, we've got one at our website at fox17.com. We're going to be hearing from some other community leaders coming up a little bit later in the morning. For now, we're live this morning in Clarksville. I'm Justin McFarland, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Thank you, Justin. Extremely helpful information right there, because this morning you already saw Justin winter coat and hat on, and this morning's already cold. Right side of your screen, 30s to right near 40 degrees, but the wind is picking up and the temperatures are going to get even colder overnight tonight into tomorrow. We're talking about teens to low 20s before you factor in the wind. One of our coldest nights so far this season. Cold air takes over. Later on this afternoon, Cumberland Plateau, a couple of little light snowflakes. You might see a flurry. That chance has been going down and down throughout the weekend, and that's kind of how it continues to trend. So nothing to worry about there, but you might see a few flakes flying. Most of us end up mainly sunny by the afternoon. We're starting off with some cloud cover. A warm up on the way. By the weekend, we're going to be in the upper 50s to near 60. This afternoon, far cry from that, 20 degrees cooler. We're talking about a lunchtime forecast in the 40s with 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts. You add those two things together, you get wind chills that will be in the 30s the entire day. Bundle up, winter coats, and prepare for some wind as you head into your afternoon.
Greg, thank you. And steer clear traffic. We are keeping an eye on something that's popped up on I-24 at Haywood Lane. I did another check just to see if we had any other resources getting us updated on this, but so far, no confirmation of a crash or anything like that. But we do have 2 cars that are pulled off to the right shoulder here, I-24 at Haywood Lane. No police yet, no TDOT. Maybe it just happened. Maybe it's left over from something last night, but we'll keep an eye on it for you. It's good to know though, and good news that there are no other issues right now in steer clear traffic.
Developing now, several Jewish-affiliated organizations right here in Nashville say they got a bomb threat over the weekend, so we're taking a closer look at what that means for them. A Nashville synagogue, the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville, and the Gordon Jewish Community Center, they all say they got email threats on Sunday morning.
Those threats ultimately deemed to be not credible, so that's the good news here, but Metro Police say they still checked on every building involved. The Jewish community in the U.S., of course, experiencing heightened anti-Semitism right now after Hamas's attack on Israel in October.
Currently, on a scale of 1 to 10, our Jewish communal security is at a 15 and had already been there.
So Rabbi Horowitz, you just heard from there, says he's been in touch with the FBI, the TBI, and the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Happening right now, Metro Police say they're searching for the man who stole thousands of dollars from a bar on Woodland Street. It happened Sunday morning. We're showing you a photo here. And detectives say the man approached a bar employee while he was taking out the trash, pointed a gun at him, and then demanded he be taken to the bar's safe. They say the person responsible then tied up the employee to a chair and took off running. If you have any information about this case, you were asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number is 742-7463.
A man arrested accused of shooting and killing his neighbor after that neighbor might have been involved in the death of his father. This is a wild story unfolding here in the mid-state. We'll get you details in minutes.
And a fire devastating this family's house. Luckily, though, they got out alive. The video after the break.
This Fox 17.
At 5:08, want to let you know this is a gruesome story, but we do want to share that a man was arrested over in Centerville for shooting and killing a neighbor, and what the TBI says may be retaliation for the death of the man's father. The TBI says the 70-year-old Wallace Redker was shot and killed, and that their investigation led to his neighbor, 70-year-old David Cathan, as the suspect. But later, Cathan was found shot in his driveway. The TBI says that 35-year-old John Regner, Wallace's son, is now under suspicion for this particular shooting. Redker is in custody now without bond.
We go to Montgomery County this morning where, we've had just a lot of heartache and loss after the tornado there. But we also have video this morning of a home that's been destroyed in a fire over the weekend. 5 people are now without a home, but they are safe and not injured. So this is the incredible video coming to us from the Montgomery County Fire Service, who told us that flames engulfed this home Saturday afternoon. The Red Cross is helping the family. Interestingly enough, according to Zillow, the house had just been bought earlier this year. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
Monday morning here at 5:10, and we're a little bit colder, and the wind's going to pick up throughout the day. Not a lot of it right now. A little bit of a breeze as you go out the door. Temperatures are in the 30s to right near 40s, so far cry from what we had over the weekend. We are colder to start, and we'll only get colder before we get a nice warm up toward the incoming weekend. Here's a look at the wind. The higher the bar, the more wind you're going to get. So we're talking 11 o'clock, 2 o'clock, and 5 p.m. Wind gusts about 15 to 20 miles per hour will be average. So about every few minutes, you're going to get one of those little pushes that moves in. They could be up to 30 miles per hour. Now let's do a little bit of putting together of temperature at 46 degrees. Wind speed at 30 miles per hour. We're going to feel like we're in the 30s the entire day. I want winter coats this morning, afternoon, and evening. And if you're one of those folks that likes to have a great hair day, but you want to be outside for a long time, this is probably not one of those for you. With those wind gusts going to be up near 30 miles per hour for the entire afternoon into this evening. We'll talk about warm up and my first thoughts on Christmas coming up in a few minutes.
Okay, Greg, thank you so much. We do want to check in at 5:11 with your Steer Clear traffic update to give you another view over at Briley Parkway. This is I-65. You're not going to see any issues or backups in this area right now. We're keeping a very close eye on the TDOT map. We were following one other situation going on, but not seeing any updates. Again, this is Briley Parkway, I-65, giving you the green light.
Tension growing with regards to the war in the Middle East. The number of people who are still in danger, caught in the middle.
And a car crashed into the president's motorcade. We're going to talk about the swift response from Secret Service and what we know so far. Hey there, 513. I know it's December 18th, but folks are already really busy over near this area. This is First Horizon Park, but not too far from this area is Bicentennial Capitol Mall, okay? That is where they are setting up for the big New Year's Eve bash celebration. That is always a really big event in this area. So we're going to give you some more live looks. And I know I'll have some interviews leading up to that big event over on December 31st. But just keep that in mind. If you're going to be in that area, they have part of it blocked off. I was trying to run through there, but God, they get started pretty early doing all that.
It takes a lot of work to get ready for that big New Year's Eve bash in Nashville. Right now, we're going to switch gears and get you updated this morning on the war in the Middle East. And the death toll continues to rise, the humanitarian situation getting worse. And we have this war now starting to lose some international support as Hamas insists it has a right to defend itself and that is a top priority.
This Monday morning, we're getting some more updates from Christine Frizzell on the escalating war in the Middle East.
It's just the latest sign that a war supposed to be between Israel and Hamas is drawing others in. The United States and Britain reporting shooting down at least 14 attack drones launched from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen, with 3 additional U.S. Navy destroyers making their way to the region.
We will continue to stay very focused on not only deterring, but also protecting our forces.
The violence prompting major shipping companies to pause all activity in the Red Sea until further notice. As the death toll and humanitarian crisis inside Gaza grow more dire, Israel is doubling down on its position that it won't stop the fighting until its mission is accomplished.
As we pursue Hamas, and we will defeat Hamas, we will destroy its military machine, we will end their rule of Gaza.
But cracks in support for Israel appear to be growing larger. More European Union and U.S. leaders calling for an end to the fighting.
A Jewish baby and a Palestinian baby are babies. I don't want to see any baby die. So first of all, we got to take that on. We got to get a ceasefire.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan also calling for Israel to scale back its attacks.
There will be a transition to another phase of this war, one that is focused in more precise ways on targeting the leadership.
But Prime Minister Netanyahu continues to dismiss international pressure, telling his government, "We will fight to the end, achieve all of our goals, and eliminate Hamas." But pressure is also mounting from inside Israel after the IDF mistakenly killed 3 Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. One of them, 26-year-old Alon Shamriz, whose father we spoke to only last week.
I don't want him to be injured. I want him back safe. We're putting a pressure on our government to make a deal. Put a deal on the table, release all the hostages.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is the next top White House official to visit Israel in the coming days, where he's expected to voice support for its mission to destroy Hamas, but also demand much more clarity on the next, more focused phase of the war. I'm Christine Frizzau reporting.
And thank you. Getting you updated on a big story that was developing last night before you might have gone to bed. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are safe after a car crashed into a part of their motorcade. This all happened in Wilmington, Delaware. Let's roll the video. President Biden was at a campaign event last night when it all happened. The footage shows Secret Service quickly escorting Mr. Biden out of the way and then surround this white sedan right here. They were yelling at the driver to keep his hands up, which he did. So that part of the investigation still happening this morning. We understand the Bidens are safe at home. 5:17 is the time right now. Greg's back from a few days off, and we've got your forecast here for the week before Christmas.
We're getting close, 7 days away. You said shopping is done?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean,
Yeah.
I think I might have like a little thing here or there, but no, I just have to wrap now.
So let's hear your beat.
Ooh. Boots and cats.
My favorite gift, because the dog can't understand English. You're gonna think I'm nuts, but she's like,
she's baby. She's a little bitty.
Way down here.
I mean, Obi weighs what, 4 or 5 pounds?
she's like 8 pounds.
Obi's tiny.
Like on her heaviest day.
Okay.
Is a leash attached to an umbrella?
Well, that sounds precious.
This is a little umbrella that goes over her when she's walking.
Oh, how cute.
That's attached to a leash.
She's so spoiled.
Forget about the fiance. The dog has the leash umbrella. That's what we're working with
Well, I
today.
thought you were going to say something about the fiance and the leash, which no.
No, the dog has the leash umbrella. Let's clarify everything we just, Jen. It's 5:18 in the morning.
I don't know. I thought you were making a reference to like keeping the fiance on a short leash.
Oh,
But no,
that's me. It's the opposite.
You're on the short leash.
I'm on the short leash all the time. Taking a look here. Here's my sneak peek at Christmas Day itself. First of all, Santa, get your game together. Look at it on the left side of your screen. Come on, man. I mean, not so many cookies where you can't get down the chimney. Here we are. 50 degrees at 7 o'clock, 58 at 3 p.m. It's going to be a very warm Christmas. We'll have a chance for a couple of rain showers. If you want snow and you want cold and you want the traditional winter feel, maybe you've moved from somewhere that's been a cold place you've lived, that's not going to be the case this time around. In the Nashville area, we rarely get snow when it comes to a white Christmas. A white Christmas is an inch of snow on the ground. We only get a few inches the entire year when you spread it out. So here is your sneak peek ahead. It should not be bad for travel conditions here back home or folks coming to us. It just matters where you're going if you're leaving here or where they're coming from, and we'll keep our eyes on that going into the rest of the next 7 days or so. I'll be on a short leash when it comes to weather here. The next 7 days, I'll do the best that I can, Jen.
You and Obi both. Okay, Greg, thank you. Right now, it's your clear traffic. Giving you a live look. I-40 at White Bridge Road. We have a lot of truckers off on that big shoulder sleeping. You'll notice that shoulder is as wide, if not wider, than all lanes of traffic at I-40 at White Bridge. And that's outbound from Nashville. This is just an easy spot for them to get some sleep in. The headlights are folks coming in from Bellevue right now. That commute looks good as well. No problems coming in for our Bellevue, Kingston Springs, or Dickson commuters. And I'm checking TDOT. We are currently crash-free here in the Mid-State. New this morning, it's been more than a week now since the deadly tornadoes came through Middle Tennessee, and the cleanup efforts continue. One of those areas is in Springfield, where our Fox 17 photojournalist Kevin Mumphrey is set up this morning. He's along Memorial Boulevard. This is the Kroger Shopping Center parking lot, and Kevin's view showing us some of the damage to the Kroger fuel pumps there, and then more damage to that strip mall that used to have a Jets Pizza, but the Jets Pizza's gone. The urgent care in the middle that's damaged, and then an AT&T store as well. The Holman jewelry store just across the street leveled. So many families impacted here, but many more coming together. They had volunteer days over the weekend. They were feeding our first responders, everybody out there, making sure that they are fed and hydrated to do that important cleanup work. A quick reminder, we know that Robertson County was left off of the federal aid list. Of all the counties hit in Middle Tennessee, Robertson County was not on it, even though they had an EF2 tornado. But we do know that the U.S. Small Business Administration can help some business owners with low-interest disaster loans to help them rebuild. It's 5:21. It is not a victory Monday. The Titans just couldn't manage to pull it off. They lose to the Texans. What that means for the rest of the season, and an injury check on Will Levis. Plus, another Nashville team is firing on all cylinders, you could say. We'll take a look at the Preds action from the weekend, and we'll look ahead to tomorrow night.
Baptize you.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News. This morning, let's talk Titans. Disappointing end of the season yesterday as they fell 19-16 to the Houston Texans in overtime.
Yeah, it means that with this loss, the Titans are officially eliminated from any kind of playoff contention. And listen, they came out pretty strong.
They came out strong, and you know what else I noticed, and I think this needs to be talked about. I've seen it chatted over on social media. They did the Oilers throwback
the
uniform,
jerseys, yeah.
which a lot of other football fans thought was, maybe in poor taste because they were playing the Houston Texans. And then you have Coach Vrabel walk out on the field looking like a Texan, wearing a cowboy hat and whatnot. So it's like, if you're going to walk the walk, you got to be able to talk the talk.
That's right.
And that just didn't happen yesterday. Quarterback Will Levis had a decent day, but Derrick Henry did not. I mean, he was in negative yardage for the entire first half. I think he had single-digit yards on the day.
The Texans were able to score a final touchdown in the minutes left at the very ending to tie it up at 16-16, and then they send it over into overtime.
Yeah.
That's when the Texans kicker made a 54-yard field goal for the game winner. Hey, something clicked with the Nashville Predators, though, when we talk about hockey over the last month. That's because they are a completely different team than what we saw at the start of the season. In their first 15 games, Preds went 5-10. Their latest, though, 15 games, 12-3.
Preds coming off an overtime win against the Canes, turning things around quickly Saturday night to host the Capitals. Nashville on the board first, thanks to a power play goal by Colton Sissons. Caps tied up in the second, but Preds respond and keep the energy up in the third, ending at a score of 3-1. UC Saros in another impressive night in the net. He stopped all of the shots except for one. He stopped 21 of 22 shots, and the Preds win their fourth in a row.
And hey, up next for the Preds, they're going to host the Vancouver Canucks. That's going to happen tomorrow night. They also have a game on the 23rd. A lot of folks are looking forward to more Predators action.
Yeah,
Let's check in now with the forecast. Red Velvet stepped out, so we're going to step in and give you your update. The feels like temperatures right now, chilly out there. Definitely a morning that you don't want to forget your jacket or maybe your hat if you're heading out the door for the bus stop. We're going to continue checking in on your forecast, though, including the holiday forecast, where Greg says there's a chance for a little bit of flurries.
Let's get back into steer clear traffic right now because we just got an update on something we've been following for about the last 20 minutes or so. This is the situation at I-24 at Haywood Lane. We just had police show up, so that's the good news, getting some cover. Best we could tell in our previous live looks, there were 2 cars involved in what looks to be a crash, and perhaps some more. We may have some more flashing lights approaching here right now. This does have injuries. We were just checking the reporting system with Metro. So accident with injuries, I-24 at Haywood Lane. It still hasn't popped up on the TDOT map, but we're going to monitor this for you. It is off on the right shoulder. More updates in steer clear traffic in minutes.
We're live this morning in Clarksville. This is where we're telling you about the disaster relief that is ongoing in this community. We're going to hear from some community leaders, also going to tell you exactly how you can help if you still want.
Thanks again.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, getting toys to children who would not have had a Christmas otherwise. More on this massive charity effort.
Waking up dry for right now, but cold air and wind picking up here going into the afternoon. How long a cold snap will last before we go into the weekend.
And steer clear traffic. Here's a look at that situation we're following on I-24 at Haywood Lane. This is just east of Harding. A crash with injuries. More details and detours if needed in minutes.
I want to start though by thanking you for waking up with us here at 5:30 on Fox 17 News this Monday morning. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be here for you as your live local news source through 9 a.m.
We're getting started with tornado coverage because it has been more than a week since the deadly tornado outbreaks across the mid-state, and so many families are trying to get back to normal and they need a lot of help.
Yeah, they do, especially here ahead of Christmas. So for the latest efforts in Clarksville, we send it out to Fox 17 News, Justin McFarland.
Yeah, good morning. We are here in Clarksville as we continue to watch exactly how this community is going to rebound here from this deadly storm that hit this area just over a week ago. The next phase that we are moving into right now is dumpsters here. Dumpsters starting to show up on some of the local streets here just off of Bandera Drive here in Clarksville, and the leftovers of people's lives here that are getting ready to be thrown away or recycled or trying to be saved maybe here in the Clarksville area. We were just monitoring some of the things happening out here in this area. One of those things is a blood drive that's getting ready to happen later today down at City Hall at 10 o'clock this morning. The American Red Cross sponsoring that blood drive so people can go out and give blood if they are so inclined, if they can't give anything else. Local school board members also speaking out last week about the thankfulness of the giving spirit they've seen in the community so far.
At this tragic time, we have risen up as a community and a system like the Phoenix to overcome her troubles. And we will overcome them and have things back to normal soon. I appreciate the churches. Many of the churches, as Aaron mentioned, have opened up. Mosaic has went far and beyond, but many other churches have opened their doors for people to come in and stay. I've seen people opening their houses, rental companies opening apartments and empty houses for people to come and stay in that have been affected by this. Things you just don't see anywhere else in America.
And by the way, if you do want to donate some of your time, both Mosaic Church as well as Life Point Church here in Clarksville have been organizing time and efforts for people to go out and volunteer their time. They're suggesting if you want to volunteer some time, you can contact one of those churches. Again, Mosaic Church as well as Life Point Church. They should be getting together some more efforts to go out and volunteer coming up here in the next few days. We're live for you this morning here in Clarksville. I'm Justin McFarland, Fox 17 News, your Corvette station.
Justin, thank you. Okay, 5:33, we're checking in now with Greg Bovis. Greg, holiday forecast, big week.
Huge week. You gear up for it. Some people are already decorating when it comes to October before we're even through Halloween for this week. I'm going to work you through it here starting off this morning. Nothing to worry about. We're cold. We feel like winter today and tomorrow, and we have a little wind that we're going to work through today as well. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour and only in the 40s. So if you've been saying, oh, it's really warm, this doesn't feel like winter, and then you complain about today, well, you got to pick one or the other, because today is going to be a cold one. Winter coat across the board. No visibility issues. Visibility tracker is completely clear for us this morning, which is a good news situation. Mainly cloudy, so there shouldn't be sun glare this morning, but flurries for today possible. If you go east of I-65 out toward the plateau, we'll talk about that and look at your 7-day forecast in a couple of minutes.
Alrighty, Greg, thank you very much. 5:34, steer clear traffic time. Just want to remind you of the one issue in traffic right now where you'll want to steer clear. This is I-24 at Haywood Lane. We understand that according to Metro Police, and we've been able to take a look at their traffic reporting system, this is in the westbound lane. So this is coming into Nashville. Two-car crash, at least 2 cars from what we could see, off to the right shoulder. We do understand there are injuries. But look, if you look here, you can see all the headlights. Traffic is starting to pick up in this area. So I would say if this lingers for much longer, we may need a detour. We'll be able to check in on that here in just a couple of minutes. In the meantime, the rest of this clear traffic looks good. This is I-65 at Moores Lane down in Williamson County. Good morning to you.
Well, happening today over in Kentucky, Governor Andy Beshear is set to unveil his new proposed budget for the state of Kentucky. The governor not releasing any kind of specific details other than to say he does want to invest in kids, open new doors of opportunity, and make sure Kentucky communities and families are safer than ever. So we're going to have some more updates throughout this morning.
You got it. Plus, we know this morning that more than 7,500 children who might not have had Christmas at all will now be able to say that they had a great Christmas. And that's thanks in part to the Last Minute Toy Store operating here in Nashville.
Just fantastic. Take a look at the video. This year's massive effort ran all weekend. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office and more than 1,000 volunteers working year-round to make sure the tables are lined with gifts for families in need. We're talking new toys, stocking stuffers, books, board games, sports equipment, gift cards for teenagers. This event does draw people either donating or helping out from across Middle Tennessee, and they're even helping out from out of state.
Because we're all volunteer, we don't have staff promoting and doing all of that out there. It's just word of mouth and grace of God that people hear about it.
The word of mouth and grace of God. I love that. Hey, one person who certainly knows about this, CMA New Artist of the Year, Jelly Roll. Look at your screen right now. The country star rolling up to the Last Minute Toy Store with a huge truck full of gifts. This weekend, Jelly Roll grew up in Nashville's, that happened over the weekend, but we want to say Jelly Roll grew up in Nashville's Antioch neighborhood. So, you know, he's a hometown hero, so to speak.
And giving back. That's the good stuff. Hey, with Christmas just a week away from today, curious, how's the shopping going? Are you about done? Are you done? Or haven't even started? Those are the options on our live Fox Nashville Twitter poll. It's up and running. About 260 votes or so far this morning. Sound off. Let us know what you think.
We know here at Fox 17 News that the tornado cleanup efforts are going to continue for months to come, but we're taking live looks in different communities, including this one. This is over in Springfield. The damage reports there and what you need to know if you're heading out to that area.
Attention homeowners.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this Monday morning. 5:39 is the time. We now know it's been over 1 week since the deadly tornadoes rocked parts of the mid-state, and the tornado cleanup efforts continue in this area right here. This is Springfield. Our Fox 17 News photojournalist Kevin is out there this morning showing us some of the devastation left behind. Okay, so take a look at your screen right now. This is going to be over on Memorial Boulevard. This is the area where the Jets Pizza over in Springfield was leveled. This is also, if our photojournalist pans over a little bit, you'll see the Kroger gas station. This area definitely still closed this Monday morning. All of this part of the tornado devastation left behind there. That is the Springfield mural as well in that area. Now, Robertson County was one of 5 counties highly impacted by the tornadoes, of course, but then it was the only area not covered in President Biden's disaster declaration. So we're trying to figure out why that's the case. Is that going to change? The U.S. Small Business Administration is now issuing low-interest disaster loans to help people rebuild, and business owners over in Robertson County, they do qualify for some of those loans. So all morning long, we're going to be taking looks here over in different areas like this one in Springfield, showing you some of the damage. And we know, Greg, that folks want to get out there. They want to volunteer. Maybe they have this week off leading into the holidays. Is the weather going to cooperate to make that happen?
As far as any rain or snow, yeah, we're totally fine there. It's the cold right now. Here's the big setup across the country. This is a big travel week. Maybe you have family coming into town early. You're leaving town early for the upcoming weekend. Cold, but no rain and maybe a flurry in the plateau. That is it for today, and that's it for the week. The big picture, though, we've got winter weather advisories out through portions of Ohio, Indiana, and eastern Kentucky, and those are going to continue to push more toward the east. Look at the northeast. We're talking Boston, Baltimore, New York, Washington, D.C., Buffalo, where if you were watching football yesterday, you saw the rain pounding. Those are areas that could give us some delays or just cause us for concern traveling later on today. Right now, we're in the 30s, 46, and sunny later on this afternoon.
Greg, thank you. We're going to check in now for a quick look at your Steer Clear traffic update. We're keeping a close eye on this situation. A single vehicle crash, lots of flashing lights. This is I-24 at Haywood Lane. You can see there the police pulling up now. We're trying to see if TDOT is going to arrive on the scene and kind of clear this out before traffic picks back up. But again, if you're heading out to I-24 at Haywood Lane, do be mindful of this single vehicle crash. After the break, Alex Jones offering a new settlement to the parents of Sandy Hook victims. Why that offer is much lower than a judge required. And former President Trump keeping a lead in the polls. So this Monday morning perspective is what we're going to share from our Fox News correspondents.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning, getting you updated on some of your national headlines this Monday. Alex Jones is now asking the families of the Sandy Hook school shooting to accept a fraction of the more than $1 billion of debt that he owes him. By the way, if you've not been, familiar with this story, this is Alex Jones here, and we're going to tell you why this is such a hot topic.
Well, the InfoWars host had declared bankruptcy after being ordered to pay nearly $1.5 billion in damage to several of the families. This came after he lost a pair of civil cases over false claims, saying the 2012 shooting was a hoax. According to court documents filed Friday, Jones proposed a settlement that would guarantee the family at least $5.5 million a year for a decade. In exchange, the families would give up all legal claims against Jones.
This proposal, by the way, comes about a month after the Sandy Hook families filed court documents where they suggested Alex Jones pay at least $8.5 million a year for a decade. So again, he's offering $5.5 million a year for a decade. A hearing for the judge to consider this proposal is now set for the end of February.
Former President Donald Trump, politics now, is maintaining his considerable lead over his competitors, but he's drawing new criticism for remarks on the campaign trail about immigrants.
Here's Fox News' Mark Meredith with the updates this morning in the race for the White House.
New Fox News polling shows former President Trump dominating among the Republican field and leading President Biden in a hypothetical rematch. Our new survey out today showing Trump would beat Biden by 4 points. Trump was in New Hampshire on Saturday. He had a lot to say about President Biden, his Republican competition, but it was his comments on immigration, which are generating fierce pushback from Democrats.
When they I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country. When they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
The Biden-Harris campaign putting out a statement afterwards saying he is betting he can win this election by scaring and dividing this country. He's wrong. In 2020, Americans chose President Biden's vision of hope and unity over Trump's vision of fear and division, and they'll do the same next November. This weekend, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he's in Iowa barnstorming the state. Even as one of his most notable operatives, strategist Jeff Rowe announced he's leaving a DeSantis-aligned super PAC, and it's one of the many staff shakeups we've seen rattling the DeSantis operation in recent weeks. As for former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, she heads to Iowa tonight after securing a major endorsement from New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu. And we heard from Governor Sununu today, and he says he believes that Haley is actually doing much better than the polls suggest.
It's an absolute win. No, it's a win and a reset button. If everyone that could vote in the primary comes out and votes, not only she's going to win in a landslide, and that's not an exaggeration.
This weekend, we're also hearing from former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. He's now going after Nikki Haley right here in New Hampshire. He says he believes Haley is enabling Trump because she's been less openly critical of the former president. In Hampton Falls, New Hampshire, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Mark, thank you. 5:48 is the time. Kids are getting ready for the bus stop. Kids are still in school, right? They're not all out, right? Correct.
Most of them are out, but not all.
Okay, so yeah. Today is not the day to wear the shorts.
No,
I don't think so. I know I see some kids still doing it.
Especially not tomorrow.
Bundle up. Don't.
Greg.
Tell me that you do this, Greg.
Do as I say, not as I do.
Okay.
He does. He wears the shorts and the hoodie and the
I
flip-flops.
don't know how y'all do that.
I was back in Chicago where it was like 20 degrees over the weekend, and I was in like a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Because that's just what I grew up in.
Yeah.
Now, here, do not wear the shorts. So do as I say, not as I do. Have the pants, have the winter coat. Make sure you're comfortable and warm. It's going to be windy, too, on top of it.
Especially tomorrow, right? Like this morning is going to feel mild compared to tomorrow.
This is kind of like the appetizer to the main course of cold tomorrow morning. Absolutely. Now, maybe you're dreaming of a white Christmas. Every year you might want to have some snow. My motto was, I want it for the day of, and then I want it to be gone. We're not going to get it at all. But here's what a white Christmas is. Because you might think, oh, well, it just means it's snowing that day. Technically speaking, we're putting that in the rabbit ears here, a white Christmas is 1 inch of snow or more on the ground at 7 a.m. on Christmas morning. forget about the numbers. It means you can't see the grass when you wake up in the morning on Christmas. That's a white Christmas. What are our odds of it here? The White Christmas Dream Meter. I'm dreaming of maybe next year. We're not getting it. 58 degrees will be your temperature on Christmas Eve, and we could be even close to 60 on Christmas Day. I'm more concerned about rain showers Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Cold front moves in today. Will bring in some wind for us. And if you are traveling or have people that are traveling your way from the areas in Michigan, even portions of Indiana and Ohio, they've got winter weather advisories in effect. And then the East Coast has been dealing with deluges of rain. So just make sure you're checking on your flight times here as you go throughout this morning.
Alrighty, Greg, thank you very much. I want to check back in on this crash along I-24. It's not impacting traffic at Bell Road, but if you look here, you'll see it is impacting traffic at Haywood Lane. So just a heads up, I don't think this is worth a detour yet. We're not seeing huge volumes of traffic just yet, but a couple of cars involved in this crash here. Metro reporting there are injuries associated with this crash. So we'll continue to monitor it for you. Just a reassurance, the rest of your mid-state commute looks really good. There are no other delays or crashes anywhere in the mid-state.
All right, we're also talking about Starbucks because the National Labor Relations Board is trying to compel Starbucks to go ahead and reopen 23 stores that they closed last year. And there's a lot in this story to break down.
Yeah, you might be wondering why. I mean, is it not Starbucks' prerogative to shut down their stores? Well, there's a regional director that filed a complaint against Starbucks, claiming that the chain violated federal labor laws by closing certain stores. The complaint says that Starbucks never gave prior notice to the labor union involved in these particular cities, and they claim that took away the union's opportunity to try to negotiate. All right, so these locations are in union areas. The union says they didn't get a chance to have a say-so in it. So they want these Starbucks to reopen and rehire all those employees who were let go. They want to be able to negotiate with Starbucks, provide back pay and benefits compensation for all the people who lost their jobs in the closures.
Well, Starbucks says the claims are meritless and they're going to go ahead and defend their business decisions. Coming up, a special opportunity for those who are dreaming of a new furry friend, how you can save some bucks.
And if you ever wish that you could go to the thrift store and find that one thing that would just let you retire, you know, it happens to some people. It happened to the lady who bought this vase. We're going to share that story in minutes.
I'm Corey B.
Well, you know, sometimes during the commercial breaks, we just have to liven things up a little bit, have a good laugh. So here we are, Monday morning. Happy Monday to you, and all smiles over here for the Preds.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. The Preds definitely having a winning streak, but also we're talking about the Old Dominion. Over the weekend on Friday night, they raised about $40,000 for tornado relief efforts.
How awesome. So Preds win. We have Old Dominion doing good things here in Nashville, raising money for those in need. And then we got the Preds coming back home Tuesday night, a home matchup there as they play the Canucks. So good vibes there from the Smiling Clan, Bridgestone Arena.
And hey, if you've been considering adopting a pet, now could really be a good time to go ahead and adopt. That's because you can find discount prices.
Yeah, quick reminder here, folks. If you are getting a pet for somebody for the holidays, it's never a good idea to spring this on them as a surprise, right? Because you want long-term sustainability and a good home for these animals. So Metro Animal Care says $25 adoptions will be in place for the rest of December. The shelter is open noon to 4, 7 days a week. So you can head over and, you know, see what animals are available. You can check out the shelter as well. And then again, can't say this enough. Don't surprise somebody with a pet for Christmas. There needs to be planning and thought and long-term.
And asking them if they're ready for that kind of thing.
Yes, because it is a long-term commitment. Yeah. As we all know,
this week we're going to have Dog of the Day back, correct?
Take a look.
Oh.
There you go.
I promise
Ask
I didn't
there.
look at that first.
Take a look here. We have Yogi. And Yogi's like, nope, cold, Don't care.
Does Yogi have the remote?
He's like, where's the remote?
As long as Yogi puts it on Fox 17 News, then we're happy.
Well, you know what? I always tell every one of the owners that sends in photos to, give us a little story if you want to. So there's a little story about Yogi sent in by Jill. I love watching the Fox Morning News team every morning. My favorite activity is to be outside and play Frisbee. So hoping that we can have some good weather for Frisbee later on this week. And you're going to have a great week for Frisbee. Just cold, Yogi. So keep that remote right where it's at. And you can watch yourself here every hour all the way through 9 o'clock. 40 degrees at 9 a.m., 45 at noon, 42 at 3 p.m. We're going to clear up. A little bit of cloud cover out there right now, but that will die down. The afternoon doesn't get much warmer, 45 by noon and only 46 degrees right in the middle of the afternoon. Cumberland Plateau, you may even sneak in a quick little snow flurry or two, but nothing that's going to get in your way. I want your photos. We want your photos. This is that time of the year where it's the giving season, so we're going to have my mail carrier there, Obi. That's my little dog on the left. If you go to my Facebook page, meteorologist Greg Bobus, you can put your photo right there. It's the pin post right at the top of Facebook, and you can see your photos right here on Fox 17 News this morning, just like Yogi.
Very sweet, Greg. Thank you very much. All right, steer clear traffic time right now. I'm going to give you a couple different live looks just to let you know how things are shaping up. This is I-65 at Trinity Lane, where traffic is moving pretty smoothly right now. It's just a few minutes before 6 o'clock. This is a known problem area, but so far, so good. I-65 at Trinity Lane. This is north of Nashville. The only other problem spot that we're following, and forgive us here as TDOT looks like they may be refocusing this camera, is a crash reported at I-24 at Haywood Lane. Now, this is between Harding Place and Haywood, and starting to see a little bit of a backup as a result coming into Nashville. And again, TDOT is moving the cameras around on us here. But it looks like that accident is probably in the clearing stages, so that's good news, especially on that I-24 commute. We will keep an eye on this for you live through 9 a.m. More steer clear traffic updates in just a couple of minutes.
There is a cheap find at a thrift store that turned into a six-figure deal for one Virginia woman. No joke here. 6 figures.
This is what everybody who thrifts prays they will find.
Absolutely.
Right? Like that one item that's going to let you retire.
Okay, let's talk about it. This is the vase on your screen that was purchased at a Richmond Goodwill store in June for just $3.99. But guess what? Wednesday, this vase on your screen sold for more than $107,000.
The crazy thing, I was telling Erica, this is a Goodwill store where one of my sisters shops.
She better get on over there.
I know, I imagine she will. By the way, the woman who bought it said that she noticed the vase immediately, recognizing some markings that would indicate this was a high-end Murano glass made in Italy. So she shared pictures of this on a Facebook group where members of that Facebook group confirmed, its identity. And then she took it to the experts. The experts then confirmed this is an authentic Murano glass. The vase initially valued between $30,000 and $50,000, but get that, price that it sold for, $107,000.
I just cannot believe this story.
It could happen to us. We need to go thrifting.
Yes, thrifting in Brentwood, Franklin, Belmead, all those areas. Hey, stay with us. Our 6 o'clock hour starts right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Good morning at 6 o'clock right now. Fox 17 News This Morning. Following updates after bomb threats are emailed to Jewish groups around Nashville. The response from police and other local leaders.
Warm goes to cold very quickly. Tomorrow morning might not make it out of the teens. How long our cold spell lasts coming up in your Fox 17 Code Red forecast.
And Fox 17 News getting you out the door and hopefully saving you some time in our steer clear traffic updates, what the highways are looking like before you hit the road. I want to thank you for waking up with us here on a Monday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Yeah, glad to be here for you, your live local news source through 9 a.m. Another day of cleanup for so many families here in the mid-state after tornadoes blew through now more than a week ago. And we've got people in Clarksville especially who are trying to get through this cleanup process so they can then begin the rebuilding.
Our Justin McFarland is joining us out there live talking about what you need to know when it comes to how this community is still feeling the impacts.
Yeah, good morning. The community came together over the weekend, and really, since this storm happened, they've been coming together to try and put together the pieces after the storm came through, and it's left its mark, certainly along roads here. Peters Mill, you can see the storm here has ripped off the top of this particular complex, left a lot of damage here in this area of Clarksville, Montgomery County, also over into Kentucky. Now, we have been hearing from all kinds of community members, some storm victims as well, many of them thankful for the outpouring of support they've received so far.
If there has been any positive that has come of this tragedy, it would be the outpouring of support from our CMCSS employees who are reaching out to their students. They are contacting every family and every student to make sure that our kids are safe and to see what they need. In our community, at the Northeast Shelter, when we have needed anything, when I reach out, if it's hot food, whatever the request has been, it has shown up plus some.
Now, she was just talking about the shelter there. The shelter is going to be shutting down over at Northeast High School and moving on over to another church. That church is located at 225 Cunningham Road. That's going to happen later in the day. So if you know anyone who is of need, please understand that the local Red Cross shelter that had been at the high school shutting down at 2 o'clock this afternoon and making that move over to another church starting today at 225 Cunningham Road there in the Clarksville area as they continue this rebuild effort. Coming up a little bit later, we're going to be telling you about some other things. Do you want to volunteer? Do you want to give blood? There are efforts out there to do that. We're going to be telling you the information surrounding that coming up here a little bit later. For now, we're live in Clarksville. I'm Justin McFarland, Fox 17 News, your Corvette station.
6:03, Justin has the winter coat, he has the hat. That's the name of the game for today. The big question every Monday morning as you're waking up, this might be the first time you've looked at weather since maybe last week. You just go, you enjoy your weekend. Not a whole lot happens that was really of much circumstance, but here's where we go. Where does the arrow move? It doesn't. We're all clear for code red. Now, the plateau this afternoon, if you're in a higher elevation, so think Monterey, Crossville, those kind of areas, you have the possibility of a few snow flurries later on this afternoon. We met our dog of the day, Yogi. We're going to continue to show you more and more dogs of the day this week. We didn't do it last week just because we wanted to make sure we gave you every little detail we could when it came to the severe weather that we had leading into last week. But here is the upcoming week. 46 degrees later on this afternoon, 42 tomorrow, 53 degrees on Wednesday, 56 on Thursday. Look at the nighttime temperatures. Right side of your screen, we're in the 30s and low 40s. Tomorrow morning, we'll be in the upper teens and low 20s. Don't take that lightly. If you park outside, wake up 10 minutes early. You may be defrosting or even scraping a little bit of frost off the windshields to start off your Tuesday.
Greg, thank you so much. Defrosting, waking up 10 minutes early, very smart idea. Okay, 6:04 is the time. We do want to give you your steer clear traffic update here on Fox 17 News. So how about this live look over at I-40 White Bridge Road? Shh, there's one sleeping truck. One sleeping truck out there, so just be mindful of that situation. But other than that, this area is looking great. We are certainly giving you the green light for I-40 at White Bridge Road.
Developing right now, several Jewish affiliated organizations in the Nashville area say they received bomb threats over the weekend. They came in the form of emails.
A Nashville synagogue, the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville, and the Gordon Jewish Community Center says they got the email threats Sunday morning. The threats were ultimately deemed not credible, but Metro Police say they still had to check out every single building. The Jewish community in the U.S. right now is experiencing heightened anti-Semitism over the recent weeks after Hamas' attack on Israel back in October.
Currently, on a scale of 1 to 10, our Jewish communal security is at a 15 and had already been there.
Well, that rabbi says that he has also been in touch with the FBI, TBI, and the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Happening right now, Metro Police are searching for the man who they say stole thousands of dollars from a bar on Woodland Street. It happened just yesterday morning. The location here associated with the address is the Up Down Arcade Bar. We understand that somebody approached an employee there while they were taking out the trash, pointed a gun at him, and then demanded to be taken to the bar's safe. That suspect then tied the employee to a chair and took off running. Again, that's all according to the police report. If you have any information, you're asked to call Crime Stoppers. That number, 742-7463.
Happening this Monday, TDOT is set to release more information on their 10-year project plan. The Deputy Governor and TDOT Commissioner letting us know that they're going to share some more details about the plan that includes a project map, potential choice lanes, which we always like to talk about here. Folks are very interested in that, and their project prioritization process.
Yeah, and really, we're going to break down too how this impacts local communities, because they've said they want to do a lot of rural infrastructure, so interstates that go through rural areas, perhaps widening them. You know what comes to mind for me is I-24 between Nashville and Clarksville, right? Whether that might be a zone that they take a look at, but we'll find out more as they make that big announcement this morning at 9 o'clock. We'll be there for you and bring you that information both on air and online at fox17.com.
We have a lot more stories to get to here this morning, including how a man was arrested for an incident involving his neighbor being shot. We're going to have some details on what you need to know.
Fire devastates a family's home. All 5 people make it out safely. We'll tell you what happened here in minutes.
Monday is very...
6:09 is the time here on Fox 17 News. A man was arrested over in Centerville for shooting and killing a neighbor, and what the TBI says may be retaliation for the death of the man's father. The TBI says that 70-year-old Wallace Redker was shot and killed, and that their investigation led to his neighbor, 70-year-old David Cathan, as the suspect. But later, Cathan was found shot in his driveway. The TBI says 35-year-old John Reinker, Wallace's son, is under suspicion for that shooting, and John Reinker is now in custody without bond.
We go to Montgomery County this morning, where a family has lost their home right here ahead of Christmas after a fire over the weekend. The video here, man, I'll tell you, the Montgomery County Fire Department sharing it with us, and it's just hard to watch because, you know, when you see this, you think they've lost everything. And granted, it's just stuff, you know, as people do say, but nonetheless, it's right here before Christmas. Everything they have has gone up in flames. The family does say they are so grateful that they made it out alive, though. We know, looking at some Zillow information, this house had recently sold. Just sold earlier this year, so presumably then the family living here, this would have been a new home for them. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. And Greg, I think it's worth mentioning here, you know, when we look at the weather right now, still things are very dry out there, aren't they?
Yeah, and that plays into what I'm going to talk about right now. Okay. Wind.
Yeah.
Any little spark can make things way worse for people that are even just down the block.
Sure.
And this might also be down the block too. Let's play a little game here. It's a game of where's my trash can?
Oh boy.
Well, there he goes. We have wind here today. That's the big story, the wind and the cold. And you're right, when it comes to any fire that's going to be here, where's my trash can? Could be in your neighbor's yard by the end of today. What's the wind going to be like? Even this morning, the next couple of hours, here are the wind gusts for us. 27 miles per hour for wind gusts by 8 a.m. And they continue to stay in the 20s to near 30 miles per hour into the afternoon. This is 2 p.m. You can see upper 20s and low 30s for wind speeds here when it comes to the wind gusts that will be blowing through Middle Tennessee. And even through 9 p.m. still windy. By tomorrow morning, the wind goes down a little bit, thankfully, but the temperatures go down. Right now, right side of your screen, we're in the 30s and 40s. Tomorrow morning, we will be in the teens and the 20s. A little burst of winter air here to kick off this week.
A burst of winter air. Okay, Greg, thank you so much. This is a live look at I-40 Donaldson Pike. This is near the airport. You can see the pit traffic is picking up swiftly. We do not have any slowdowns, though, or brake checks for this area. Again, this is I-40 at Donaldson Pike.
Tensions growing this morning with regards to the war in the Middle East. We'll take a look at the latest updates here for your Monday morning.
And a car crashing into the president's motorcade, the swift response from Secret Service, and what we know so far this Monday morning.
Attention homeowners.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Time right now is 6:14. A live look over at Nissan Stadium. Kind of a black hole on this Monday morning. The lights are off inside, and kind of an empty feeling after that game last night too.
I'd say so.
Yeah.
Fans feeling not so great.
Yeah.
Especially at the high over in South Florida, not feeling that same high anymore.
I know. So they lose last night. Playoff, possibilities are done for. but we still have a season to finish here, and we've got, some more games to do that. We're hoping to get an update on the Will Levis injury that he sustained at the end of last night's game, and so we'll be monitoring that for you here live through 9 a.m.
International headlines as the death toll rises in Gaza and the humanitarian situation grows dire. Israel's war with Hamas is losing international support as Israel's leaders insist its rights to defend itself remain a top priority.
Here's Christine Frizzell with the latest this morning in the escalating war in the Middle East.
It's just the latest sign that a war supposed to be between Israel and Hamas is drawing others in. The United States and Britain reporting shooting down at least 14 attack drones launched from Houthi-controlled areas of Yemen, with 3 additional U.S. Navy destroyers making their way to the region.
We will continue to stay very focused on not only deterring, but also protecting our forces.
The violence prompting major shipping companies to pause all activity in the Red Sea until further notice. As the death toll and humanitarian crisis inside Gaza grow more dire, Israel is doubling down on its position that it won't stop the fighting until its mission is accomplished.
As we pursue Hamas, and we will defeat Hamas, we will destroy its military machine, we will end their rule of Gaza.
But cracks in support for Israel appear to be growing larger. More European Union and U.S. leaders calling for an end to the fighting.
A Jewish baby and a Palestinian baby are babies. I don't want to see any baby die. So first of all, we got to take that on. We got to get a ceasefire.
National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan also calling for Israel to scale back its attacks.
There will be a transition to another phase of this war, one that is focused in more precise ways on targeting the leadership.
But Prime Minister Netanyahu continues to dismiss international pressure, telling his government, "We will fight to the end, achieve all of our goals, and eliminate Hamas." But pressure is also mounting from inside Israel after the IDF mistakenly killed 3 Israeli hostages being held in Gaza. One of them, 26-year-old Alon Shamriz, whose father we spoke to only last week.
I don't want him to be injured. I want him back safe. We're putting a pressure on our government to make a deal. Put a deal on the table, release all the hostages.
Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin is the next top White House official to visit Israel in the coming days, where he's expected to voice support for its mission to destroy Hamas, but also demand much more clarity on the next, more focused phase of the war. I'm Christine Frizzell reporting.
Christine, thank you. National headlines now. President Biden and First Lady Jill Biden are okay this morning, but they had a car crash into their motorcade in Wilmington, Delaware. Let's take a look at how this all unfolded.
Well, Biden was attending a campaign event last night when this crash happened. This video does show Secret Service agents, you can see here, quickly escorting Biden right into his SUV moments after this all happened. Police then surrounding the car. They can be heard telling the driver to go ahead, keep your hands up. The Bidens returning back to their home in Delaware, and as Jen said, they are just fine. 6:17 is the time. We're checking in for your Monday morning forecast. A lot of folks have a short work week, and that's always pretty good.
We all deserve a short work week sometimes, you know?
Short school week. I know a lot of our kids, many of our school districts around here are releasing early. It's midterm exam week.
Good luck to those examers.
Yes.
And we're edging closer and closer to Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. We've been gearing up for it for months, and now it's finally here, and it feels a little bit cold. I know, coffee drinker. Not here, but this is a good morning for a cup of coffee. Take a look here. Definitely here. Temperature's not going to be all that great for us throughout this morning into the afternoon. Sunrise 6:52. We are not there yet. I want to spend a little extra time on your 7-day forecast because maybe you have plans that you're going to work yourselves through for this week, whether it's traveling locally, whether people are coming into town, you're leaving town. Here's how it's going to look. 46 degrees your high temperature later on today. 22 overnight tonight. I mentioned the wind just a few minutes ago. If you factor in the wind at a high of 46, 30-mile-per-hour wind gusts, we're going to feel like we're in the 30s the entire day. Now, the clouds will break up a little bit, so it'll look nice outside, but it will not feel comfortable. If you're in an open area, you will feel the wind more than you will of, say, maybe you're right in the heart of downtown Nashville where you have the buildings around you. Might not be quite as windy. 42 degrees will be your temperature on your Tuesday, and then 50s Wednesday into Thursday. We've got to talk weekend rain chances Friday, Saturday, and Sunday with a big warm-up leading us in toward Christmas Day.
Greg, thank you so much. 6:19 is the time. And right now in your Steer Clear traffic update, we are looking at I-24 at Barley Parkway, but also keeping a very close eye on a situation, working to get our camera pulled up right here. I-24 Almaville Road. Okay, this is a multi-vehicle crash right here at a very, very, very busy exit. So folks were over there walking around. You can see the flashing lights when our camera does reload. Multiple crews responding to this scene. I-24 at Almaville Road.
Yeah, it looks like the crash might be on Almaville, where it runs right under I-24. And to Erica's point, a huge response here right now. We're going to monitor this for you and get you another live update and Steer Clear traffic in just a few minutes. So far, that I-24 commute has already had a couple of issues. We'll get you detours as we can here in minutes. And breaking news this morning, coming to us from Fox News, in case you missed it last night, North Korea has test fired a ballistic missile capable of hitting the United States. All right, now that's the length that this thing went. We understand that this intercontinental ballistic missile was fired into the waters off Japan, and what has become the second launch in 2 days. We understand that this missile has the capability of traveling more than 9,300 miles. So just keeping an eye on this development coming into us this morning from Fox News. More updates as they come in.
Happening now on Fox 17 News, we are showing you live looks of the tornado devastation that has rocked the mid-state. Our photojournalist Kevin right here in Springfield showing you a closer look at the area over in Springfield that is going to be on Memorial Boulevard. Okay, so you're seeing some of that damage, and we're closely zooming in here. We know the Jets Pizza was leveled over there, a jewelry store, the Kroger gas station still demolished, and we're still trying to pick up some of the pieces with folks who are getting out there, going to be volunteering this Monday. So we know if you're going to be in this portion, this popular plaza, then go ahead and just know you're likely not going to be going to any kind of business. They are shut down. They're still trying to pick up some of the damage left behind. And we're going to continue giving you live looks up until 9 a.m.
6:21 is your time. Right now, we're getting you Titans updates. I mean, don't really want to call them highlights because unfortunately, it was not a good day on the gridiron for the Titans, but we're going to let you know what this means for the playoff picture and for the quarterback, Will Levis, who left the game early with an injury.
But it's looking better for hockey, though. Another Nashville team skating ahead of the competition. The Preds' win streak continuing. More after the break.
Owner Loyalty Cap.
Tennessee Titans with a disappointing end to their season on Sunday. Yeah, they fell 19-16 to the Houston Texans in overtime. With the loss, the Titans are officially eliminated from playoff contention. And you know, interesting, you talked about earlier Vrabel wearing that outfit yesterday. If you talk the talk, you got to be able to back it up.
They didn't do that. No. You know, they wore the Oilers throwback jerseys. Some other football fans and, commentators were saying that was a little bit of a slap in the face to the Texans. And then Vrabel walks out with a cowboy hat and the whole nine. And then it's almost like if you're going to do all that stuff,
you better win.
You got to win. And they did not. Now, the Titans did come out pretty strong, scored on the opening drive thanks to a rushing touchdown by Will Levis. And then we had a big defensive play that resulted in a pick six. But after that, shut down. One of the things that you cannot ignore from this game is the fact that Derrick Henry was held to 9 rushing yards. 9 in the whole game. The whole first half, he was in negative yardage.
Yeah, the Texans able to score a touchdown in the final minutes of the game to tie it up at 16-16 and then send it into overtime. That's when the Texans kicker made a 54-yard field goal for the game winner. Keep in mind, Derrick Henry, he is set to be a free agent in March. So we got our eyes on that.
Yeah, watching that closely. Plus, hey, let's talk hockey. Much better news on the hockey front. The Preds have really turned things around. If we were to look at the first half of the season, a completely different team playing now, and it really showed over the weekend, especially against the Capitals. The Preds coming off an overtime win Friday against them and then turned around quickly Saturday to host the Caps. So we had the Canes and the Caps. Nashville snagging a total of 3 points to the Capitals, 1. The Preds will host the Vancouver Canucks tomorrow at 7 o'clock right here in Nashville. And then they'll go to Philly to play the Flyers Thursday night.
And they're back in Nashville on the 23rd.
Hey, little Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
Early Christmas gift, hopefully.
I'm excited to get on over there. We're going to check in now with weather because when you think about how chilly it is, hockey weather does seem to fit right in. When we check in on our lower Broadway action for the right now temperatures, code red threat level is all clear.
Thank
That is
goodness.
fantastic news because so many volunteers, we talk about this, are going to be out there this week. Maybe you're off from work, so you're going to be out there lending a helping hand. The weather is going to be good for that. Just dress accordingly for the temperatures because it is going to be chilly.
And the only thing we're really tracking right now is the possibility of some flurries over on the plateau, where higher elevation, colder temperatures could bring a few flurries, but nothing to worry about. Those are what I like to call the no-worry flurries. And we'll be tracking those with you and our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobus.
When it comes to your traffic, though, we do want to keep a close eye on this situation because it is looking very nasty. We are talking about lanes of traffic being blocked off at I-24 at Almaville Road. This is a multi-vehicle crash that is impacting the exits there and the on-ramps. You can see a lot of flashing lights. TDOT is there on the scene along with other emergency crews. We're trying to get some more updates. Any detours, though, that we need to keep in mind, Jen?
Yeah, so this is a significant crash. It is on Almaville Road. Erica mentioned that, but it is also causing a backup on I-24 where people are trying to get off of this Almaville Road exit. So I would say that if you are east or north of I-24 along Almaville Road and Lee Victory Parkway, I would take Old Nashville Highway to go on up to the next exit, right? So getting on I-24 at Almaville Road is going to be real challenging. So if you could take Old Nashville Highway all the way up to Sam Ridley Parkway, that would be a good detour. That'll just take you straight up and then you jump over onto Sam Ridley and you can get on I-24 there. We're monitoring injuries here. This is a large police presence. We'll update you as we get more in minutes.
Well, coming up, we're continuing our cleanup efforts talk throughout the mid-state. Our Justin McFarland is joining us live in Clarksville this morning with updates on how you can get involved.
It's Bay Sport 11 in Tennessee.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, getting toys to children who would not have had a Christmas otherwise. More on this massive charity effort.
Right now, two different live looks from Nashville. We've got Nissan Stadium and Bridgestone Arena, home of our Titans and our Predators. One team faring better than the other over the weekend. So we've got your sports highlights coming up in minutes.
And we also have your steer clear traffic updates, keeping a very close eye on this nasty situation over at Almaville Road, what you need to know, and how crews are trying to clear out this multi-vehicle crash.
Thanks so much for starting your day with us here on Fox 17 News This Morning. I'm Jennifer Waddell.
And I'm Erica Glover. Happy Monday to you. New this morning, Fox 17 News keeping a very close eye on the tornado damage because we know it's been more than a week since those deadly storms just wreaked a whole lot of havoc.
You know, and a lot of progress has been made in the cleanup efforts, but more is needed, especially before we get to Christmas. We have Fox 17 News' Justin McFarland joining us live in Clarksville this morning with the efforts there.
Yeah, good morning. Here in Clarksville, the cleanup is on in full swing. As a matter of fact, we just saw some of the heavy machinery in full action a few moments ago. And it looks like they've taken a small break, but they were removing the debris from this restaurant that collapsed. Believe it or not, this pile of wood right here next to me, this used to be two restaurants. It used to be the Redwood Chinese restaurant here on Fort Campbell Boulevard and the Luigi's Pizzeria here on Fort Campbell Boulevard. Both of them nothing more than sticks and bricks piled up on what used to be thriving restaurants here in Clarksville. And of course, it joins lots and lots of homes that are also in the same types of conditions. Now, the city has been trying to come together, rally together, pull together, lean on each other to try to get through times like this.
Millions of dollars will be needed to rebuild, but let me remind you of all those things that are more important and cost nothing. Holding a hand, giving a hug, encouraging words, smiles, working side by side, sitting with someone, taking a walk, sharing similar stories, promising to come back tomorrow, shedding tears together. And as I wrote this last night, I thought, that sounds familiar. I think that's what educators do every day anyway. So as I've reminded you throughout this year to sit at the educators' table and have conversations with teachers, all of the above suggestions tell us that we must now sit at the families' table. That is where we will hear what is needed to get families and students back on their feet.
Now, later today, there will be a blood drive downtown Clarksville at City Hall starting at 10 o'clock this morning. So if you are at a loss about what to do, you want to do something that is something the Red Cross says you can do, you can give a pint of blood to try to help those in need here in Clarksville. That's going to be happening again starting at 10 o'clock this morning downtown at City Hall. If you're looking to donate your time, Mosaic Church as well as Life Point Church here in Clarksville are accepting the applications right now for volunteers as they will get set for another round to go out and try to help those in need. We're live for you in Clarksville. I'm Justin McFarland, Fox 17 News, your Corvette station.
Any way we can help out here leading into the upcoming holiday weekend. And taking a look right now, overcast sky. The sun's coming up here in the next 15 minutes. You're not going to see a lot of it this morning. It's helped keep us warm-ish. This morning, we have temperatures that are in the 30s and low 40s compared to tomorrow morning. This is very warm. Tomorrow morning will be in the teens and 20s. Right now, the wind beginning to pick up, so wind chill. Feels like temperatures 29 in Columbia, 31. If you get down toward Lawrenceburg, 37 in Nashville. We are on our way to only 46 actual degrees later on this afternoon. Why do I say actual degrees? Well, because the wind will get stronger and stronger throughout the day. We're going to feel like we're in the 30s the entire afternoon. Bundle up, but sunshine reappears for the afternoon.
Alrighty, Greg, thanks so much. Steer clear traffic. The biggest problem we're following right now is I-24 at Almaville Road. This is a serious crash involving all kinds of first responders. We could see at least one car that is a smashed up mess. The problem here is this is impacting your ability to get on I-24 and to get off of I-24 at Almaville Road. So as you can see, traffic is backed up in both directions here. I would say the best advice for you if you have to use Almaville to get on I-24 is to perhaps use Old Nashville Highway instead. Take that up to Sam Ridley, and that'll put you out at I-24 at Sam Ridley. Also following another backup on I-24 as you approach Antioch. We'll check in on that in our next Steer Clear Traffic.
More than 7,500 kids who would not have had a Christmas otherwise now have multiple gifts to open, all thanks to this weekend's last-minute toy store. So take a look at some of the video here. It is a massive effort that ran all weekend long. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office and more than 1,000 volunteers getting involved, working around the year to make this happen. So lining the tables with gifts for families in need. We're talking new toys, stocking stuffers, books, board games, sports equipment, and gift cards.
Yeah, so much work going into this to make it possible. This event draws people either donating or helping out from across Middle Tennessee. And even there are some volunteers who come to do this from out of state.
Because we're all volunteer, we don't have staff promoting and doing all of that out there. It's just word of mouth and grace of God that people hear about it.
Gotta love that. By the way, one person who certainly knows all about it is CMA New Artist of the Year, Jelly Roll. That's a picture of him with the Davidson County Sheriff Darren Hall there. But Jelly Roll rolled up in one of his big tractor trailers for his tour, and it was stuffed full of toys. You know, he's been collecting donations at Walmarts around the area for weeks now. So they took all those donations, put them in the back of this big rig, and dropped it off. Jelly Roll grew up in Antioch, so this was something real near and dear to his heart.
And with Christmas, I'm gonna let Jen take it.
I got you. With Christmas just a week away, we were curious. How's the shopping going? No stress, just curious. Are you done, partially complete, or maybe you haven't even started? I can remember growing up with my dad, and we always shopped for my mom on Christmas Eve. Like that was part of our Christmas Eve events. Now we did it starting in the morning, and then we would shop through lunchtime and get home Christmas Eve afternoon. And so that was how we did it. Maybe that's how you do it. 46% of you right now say you're done. About 33% say you're almost done. And then 20% of you say, yep, haven't even started. If you want to sound off and let us know your plans, find us at Fox Nashville.
Well, coming up after the break, we're talking about tornado cleanup efforts that are going to continue over in Springfield, showing you some live looks at the damage this Monday morning. Stay with us.
Diabetes.
Welcome back. 6:40 is the time. Metro Police say speed is being investigated as a factor in a crash that killed a driver and a passenger. This happened early Sunday morning. We're mapping it out for you right now on your screen. It was just before 3 a.m. over on Nolensville Pike. That is near Polk Avenue.
Police tell Fox 17 News that the car went off the road, hit a utility pole, and then burst into flames. The medical examiner's office still working to identify the victims. It is 6:41 right now, and as we continue our coverage on the mid-state families that are working to clean up and put their lives back together following the deadly tornadoes, we go this morning to Robertson County. Springfield, one of the areas hardest hit, and EF2 confirmed in Springfield, right along Memorial Boulevard, taking out the strip mall that you see right here. This is right in front of the Kroger. We had a AT&T store, an urgent care, and the Jets Pizza. The phone store, the urgent care, destroyed. The Jets Pizza obliterated. I mean, gone. We have more damage right across the street from this at the Holman Jewelry Store. The Valvoline oil change was leveled. The Kroger fuel pumps leveled practically. So a lot of cleanup still to be done there in Springfield. And we know that Robertson County is one of 5 counties with high impact damage. Yet Robertson County is not on the list of the areas that were declared eligible for federal aid. And we've been trying to get to the bottom of why. For example, did Robertson County deny it? Did they not submit? Did the federal government say they weren't eligible? As we work to get those answers, we'll keep you posted here on Fox 17 News this morning. In the meantime, you know, this visual here, just a reminder to continue to pray for our communities that are trying to pull it together here before Christmas.
Absolutely. We're also checking in with our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobitz. Happy Monday, Greg.
Hey, happy Monday. Yeah, cold, but no real significant weather here until we get toward the weekend, and even that's just going to be a couple of showers. So getting up, starting our Monday here, leading into this holiday week and then weekend, breakfast forecast is just cold, and the wind is picking up. Right side of your screen, current temperatures are going to be there all the way through 9 o'clock this morning. Starting at 7, we'll go live and local for you when everyone else does all that pre-taped, whatever it is. I don't even know what it is because we're right here for you. 36 degrees at 7 o'clock, 37 at 8 a.m., 40s, low 40s, 9 o'clock going into 10. Now the wind is the big thing here. This looks like a lot of stuff going on at once. All it means is if you have a color on top of you, you have rain, or you have wind that picks up. Green showing more wind gusts here for us. Wind gusts this afternoon up near 30 miles per hour. I'm going to give you warmer weather leading into the weekend. And we'll talk about any potential chance for even a snowflake in the coming week.
Okay, Greg, we do want to give you a detour at 6:43 for this incident in our steer clear traffic update. I-24 at Omniville Road. Now we're getting a clearer look now that the sun is starting to come up. We see multiple crews that are responding to this multi-vehicle crash here, and you can see them out there standing by the vehicles. What you need to know is Old Nashville Highway is a good detour for what you're seeing on your screen, but it's causing a headache for folks who are trying to get on the exit ramp and folks who are coming off for that exit.
And you know what, Erica, now that the sun has come up, like you just said, and we're getting a better visual on it, it concerns me because we can see 2 cars involved in a crash, but I'm just looking at all those first responders that are standing around that one car. And wondering why. We can see another crashed out car put on the flatbed to be towed away. So definitely the biggest issue in steer clear traffic. Do want to reassure you the rest of the midstate is fine. We have no other crashes and no other big delays anywhere in the midstate.
After the break, we're talking politics. Former President Donald Trump is keeping the lead in the polls. We're going to have some fresh perspective from our Fox News correspondents. Politics now. Former President Donald Trump is maintaining his considerable lead over his competitors, but he's also drawing new criticism for remarks on the campaign trail about immigrants.
He is. Fox News' Mark Meredith joining us this morning with updates in the race for the White House.
New Fox News polling shows former President Trump dominating among the Republican field and leading President Biden in a hypothetical rematch. Our new survey out today showing Trump would beat Biden by 4 points. Trump was in New Hampshire on Saturday. He had a lot to say about President Biden, his Republican competition, but it was comments on immigration, which are generating fierce pushback from Democrats.
You know, when they let, I think the real number is 15, 16 million people into our country, when they do that, we got a lot of work to do. They're poisoning the blood of our country. That's what they've done.
The Biden-Harris campaign putting out a statement afterwards saying he is betting he can win this election by scaring and dividing this country. He's wrong. In 2020, Americans chose President Biden's vision of hope and unity over Trump's vision of fear and division, and they'll do the same next November. This weekend, Florida Governor Ron DeSantis, he's in Iowa barnstorming the state. Even as one of his most notable operatives, strategist Jeff Rowe announced he's leaving a DeSantis-aligned super PAC, and it's one of the many staff shakeups we've seen rattling the DeSantis operation in recent weeks. As for former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley, she heads to Iowa tonight after securing a major endorsement from New Hampshire Governor Chris Sununu. And we heard from Governor Sununu today, and he says he believes that Haley is actually doing much better than the polls suggest.
It's an absolute win. No, it's a win in a reset button. If everyone that could vote in the primary comes out and votes, not only she's going to win in a landslide, and that's not an exaggeration.
This weekend, we're also hearing from former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie. He's now going after Nikki Haley right here in New Hampshire. He says he believes Haley is enabling Trump because she's been less openly critical of the former president. In Hampton Falls, New Hampshire, Mark Meredith, Fox News.
Thank you, Mark. We have a recall alert at 6:48 this morning, and this could impact your breakfast, maybe what you're packing for the kids for lunch. It's a Quaker Oat recall involving more than 24 varieties of their granola bars and cereal. We understand that some of those products could be contaminated with salmonella. So let's take a look here because we're going to show you pictures of everything impacted. The company recalling 25 different types of chewy bars, 10 types of granola bars, and then 8 types of granola cereal. If you have any of the products that you see on your screen right here, you're going to want to throw them out or return them for a refund. The company says those are the instructions. If you have any of the chewy, on-the-go snacks, I'm even looking at rice cakes that look to be involved. Quaker says the good news here so far is they have not received any reports of anybody getting sick from salmonella poisoning, but again, get rid of these or return them for a refund. You can also head to their website if you want to get more details. All right. It is 6:49. Speaking of breakfast and maybe packing the lunches, school is starting to wind down for a lot of families. I realized last night as I was about to start packing lunches, it's a half day for the kids this week because they have exams.
Yeah.
I don't have to pack lunches.
Are you excited for the extra time with them too?
I am.
This is that time.
Just to slow down.
Just take a second.
Yes.
Lounge back, relax,
Yes.
enjoy some family.
I so appreciate that slower pace. I really do, especially this time.
You don't get it that often.
Yeah.
So when you can have it, enjoy it. Like this. I'm trying to find the remote. Yogi, yo, if you're watching right now, Yogi, where's the remote?
I would like this to be me.
This is the spirit animal of the entire Fox 17 News crew this morning. It 100% is. Take a look here. This is... It's one of the best photos I've seen in a long time. Yogi sent in by Jill from Pleasant View, and he's just like, wait, what you looking at? I'm watching TV over here. 40 degrees at 9 a.m., 45 degrees at noon, 42 at 3 p.m. Cool the entire day, but sun will come out later. Right now, we're still mainly cloudy. We're in the upper 30s to right near 40. The wind will pick up. So when you're walking Yogi later, Jill, it's going to be on the wind to your side. Keep that in mind. Wind gusts up to 30 miles per hour. This is your dog walking forecast with the increasing sunshine. How do you send in your photos? I tell you every morning, and boy, do you listen to what I say because I get so many submissions. So your dog will be here on Fox 17 News this morning. It just takes a little while to spotlight each and every dog. Go to Facebook, meteorologist Greg Bobus, find that pinned post. That's right where you post your doggo's photo. And if you give me a little story, I'll show that story right here on air as well.
Weather Window, presented by the National Weather Desk.
A powerful storm continued its weekend march up the eastern seaboard from Florida to the Myrtle Beach area, dropping heavy rain, flooding streets, and even spawning a radar-indicated tornado in Horry County. This same system is carrying gusty winds and heavy rain up the mid-Atlantic and into New England Monday, bringing along a chance of coastal floods.
For more content like this, follow the National Weather Desk on Instagram.
Back here at home, checking steer clear traffic for you so you can get where you're going on time. That's always our goal here in the morning, is to just save you that few extra minutes so you're not late. A live look right now, I-65 at the I-24 junction. This is all of our northern commuters coming into Nashville. And I'll say, you can tell folks are off this week because traffic here is very light. It is rare that we ever see light traffic like this at this junction, especially approaching 7 o'clock. So there's some good news for you if you're north of town. If you are south of town along I-24 Almaville Road, this serious crash with injuries still causing a bottleneck delay trying to get through this intersection. Oh, but if you watch here, check this out live now. That tow truck is pulling away both cars involved in this crash, and it looks like the ambulance is leaving. So good news here. It looks like we may be approaching the clearing stages of this crash on Almaville Road at I-24. But if you do need a detour this morning, you can take Old Nashville Highway up to Sam Ridley and then jump on I-24 just ahead of this crash. Just into the newsroom this morning, we are learning from BP that they have just announced this morning BP oil is pausing all shipments that go through the Red Sea because of an increased attack on their vessels by Houthi militants in Yemen. Those have been on the rise since the war in the Middle East involving Hamas and Israel. So upon this news this morning, oil rose sharply. What we're looking at here is a current check of our gas prices in the Nashville area. We're still looking pretty good here, $2.59 up in East Nashville. We've got prices like $2.81. Down in Wedgwood, Houston. But look, if you've got to fill up, I would say avoid doing it south of Berry Hill. Look at some of those prices. $3.59 by the Bluebird Cafe in Green Hills, $3.39 in 12 South, $3.29 in Belle Meade. So it looks like the cheaper fuel prices for us are going to be Nashville, along I-40 and then north of I-40 by Nashville. So just giving you a heads up on that, and we'll be monitoring that situation involving BP oil and the attacks in the Red Sea, both on air and online at fox17.com. A couple of inspiring stories to start your Monday. First of all, we'll tell you about the local adoption fees that could help bring you a new furry member of the family at Christmas. And it's the thrift store purchase now known around the world. We're going to tell you about this vase and how much it just sold for.
Christmas from Gary Mack.
At 6:56 right now, Fox 17 News taking a live look at the sunrise this morning. All right, not quite the sunrise just yet. The clouds are right there, but you can see the temperature scrolling on the right side of your screen even during commercial breaks. And it's chilly out there. Greg's going to talk about our full forecast for the holidays. He was talking about a chance of flurries, but what do you call it, Jen? The flurries that you don't have to worry about?
Yeah,
it's something.
It's the no worry flurries.
The no worry flurries. I added a couple of words there.
It's the same concept. I get it. Hey, we'll be tracking it for you live through 9. And just a few minutes before 7 o'clock right now, if you've been thinking about adopting a pet, now could be a good time to do it because a lot of our shelters are offering discounted adoption fees in order to get some of these sweet babies into good, loving homes.
Metro Nashville Animal Care and Control is offering $25 adoptions for the rest of December. The shelter is open noon to 4 p.m., 7 days a week. So go on over, get to know the dogs and the cats that are staying there, but make sure you check your holiday hours before you go. So we do have those updated hours on fox17.com, and make sure that before you buy someone a pet as a gift that you ask first. This is a commitment, not a temporary gift.
Not a surprise.
Not a surprise at all. A costly one too.
Yeah, well, and this we know. I mean, we all love our fur babies here.
We do.
They're like members of the family.
They're not like members of the family. They end up controlling the family.
In some cases.
In some cases, they become more important than yourself. That's how it's supposed to be. Taking a look here, tap the radar. I want to circle something for you here because you're going to see this popping up throughout the morning as we watch for any potential snowflakes for the afternoon. I'm going to circle the Nashville area because all of this is not actually rain. What it is there's a bullseye right in the middle. This is where the radar site is. So everything around it is very fine-tuned to try to find these little light flurries later on this afternoon. So the greens that you're seeing, that's not actually rain coming down. Nothing to worry about there. It is cold though. Temperatures right side of your screen are in the 30s to right near 40 degrees. We have no rain today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday into Saturday and Sunday. Few and far between, but there are a couple of rain chances that we'll talk about. And we're cold for now. How much colder will be tomorrow morning than this morning? That's coming up. And also, we'll look ahead to a big warm-up toward Christmas weekend as we go into your 7 o'clock hour and become your only live and local news source until 9.
Greg, thank you. It's 6:58, so we are going to check back in on our steer clear traffic to show you this look. I-24 and Omniville Road. So giving you another idea of the backup here caused by that multi-vehicle crash where multiple crews are out there on the scene, involves two different vehicles, the exit ramp and the on-ramp in this area. It's just a hot mess right now. So keep that in mind if you're heading out to I-24 at Omniville Road.
Well, we've been joking this morning as we've been learning more about this story. Anybody who goes thrifting hopes that they're going to find that one item that they buy for next to nothing and then it's priceless, right? Whether it's a painting or a pair of shoes.
Or even a vase. We're going to tell you about this, okay? You have to look at it first. So let's show the vase right here. It landed a 6-figure payday.
How crazy.
For one woman. Yeah, the vase was purchased at a Richmond, Virginia Goodwill store in June for $3.99. But on Wednesday, it sold for more than $107,000.
So the lady that bought it at that Goodwill said she noticed something about it right away. So she snatched it up, she bought it, and immediately thought that it might have been a piece of Murano glass that's made in Italy. So she went to a Facebook group of, people who share about Murano glass and said, hey, is this what I think it is? So members of that Facebook group all confirmed, yeah, this looks like Murano glass. And then she had an expert authenticate it. Turns out the vase was initially valued at between $30,000 and $50,000, but ended up selling for more than double the top estimate. That is, that's quite the Christmas gift.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, bomb threats emailed to Jewish groups around Nashville, the response from police and also religious leaders.
Picking up the pieces and moving on in Clarksville, we're going to show you how the community is trying to move on despite the damage still hanging on.
And good morning. Here we go. Cold temperatures for today and tomorrow. How much colder will be tomorrow compared to today? And then we're going to look ahead and track your holiday weekend in your Code Red forecast.
And unfortunately, we have a new crash just reported in steer clear traffic. We'll take you there and work to get to the detours in moments.
All right, a busy start to our Monday morning. We do want to start, though, by thanking you for joining us here on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We've always got you covered live and local through 9 a.m. And we begin this morning with our team coverage after the deadly destruction of the tornadoes more than a week ago. It's another day of cleanup in parts of Clarksville and Montgomery County.
Right now, Fox 17 News' Justin McFarland joining us live over in Clarksville, talking about how folks are trying to, still get their lives back together after a little more than a week of dealing with those tornadoes.
Yeah, good morning. We're just off of Fort Campbell Boulevard here in Clarksville, where the evidence of those tornadoes is still very much on the ground, including this flipped over Nissan Z that still has a car with the wheels in the air. This is just part of the damage just across the street from that Nissan Z. You can see a business. If you're looking for airborne automotives, they're no longer here. They are located now about 1.5 miles down the road. They've got a message there to let people know exactly where they are because the tornado has come through and taken away their business. Now, local school board members spoke out recently. They talked about the key to overcoming the tragedy is going to be kindness.
If there has been any positive that has come of this tragedy, it would be the outpouring of support from our CMCSS employees who are reaching out to their students. They are contacting every family and every student to make sure that our kids are safe and to see what they need. In our community, at the Northeast Shelter, when we have needed anything, when I reach out, if it's hot food, whatever the request has been, it has shown up plus some.
Now, of course, that Northeast shelter she's talking about is the Northeast High School. That is where the Red Cross has had their shelter set up since the beginning of the storm. That shelter is closing later today. It's moving over to a church located at 225 Cunningham Street. That shelter will shut down at 2 p.m. this afternoon and then make the transition over to that church. There are also volunteer efforts that are also continuing to open up. We're going to be telling you more about those coming up in our next half hour. For now, we're live in Clarksville. I'm Justin McFarland, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Justin, thank you so much. And of course, all of us here at Fox 17 News, we are dedicated to helping those impacted by the tornadoes. That is why we're partnering with the Salvation Army, but we cannot help mid-state storm victims without your help. So grab your phone right now. It's probably already in your hands anyway, and scan the QR code that's right here on your screen to make a donation. And remember, no amount is too small. It is all going to make a big difference in the long run.
704 right now, dodged some of the rain Saturday and Sunday here in the mid-state. I know a lot of folks worked real hard, Greg, to get the tarps up in time. And a little bit of a drying period now for the week.
Yeah, drying period for now through Friday, really. And we mentioned all last week, get the tarps up, help people out, get the supplies there while you can, because we knew there would be some showers on Saturday and Sunday. Now, we are calming down. We're also getting much colder. We're cooling down as we speak. Temperatures will only be in the 40s this afternoon. The right side of your screen is not that bad to kick off the morning, in the 30s to right near 40. A couple of flurries are possible out in the Cumberland Plateau. If you start seeing a few snowflakes flying, don't worry about them. They're not going to impact your day. Just business as usual for the rest of today and the rest of this week. There is a warm up on the way. Here it is in your 7-day forecast. We'll get right to it. 46 today, even colder tomorrow. 22 in the morning as you wake up on your Tuesday, 42 for the afternoon. Not a great day for your Tuesday when you look at the temperature profile, but sunshine. And then warmer Wednesday into Thursday and Friday. We'll start talking weekend rain chances and my sneak peek at your Christmas forecast coming up. The next check of your forecast.
Greg, thank you. Steer clear traffic time at 7:05. We're entering the heart of the rush hour and really starting to see it. This is a backup right now, I-40 at Central Pike. The reason we have this backup here is because of a crash just up the road. Now, I will say it looks like the crash might be nearing the clearing stages, so that's great news. I don't think you're going to need a detour. But if you did want a detour and you just don't want to sit in the interstate traffic, Lebanon Pike is always your good detour if you're coming in this morning from Mount Juliet.
At 7:06, developing right now, several Jewish affiliated organizations in Nashville say they got bomb threats that happened over the weekend. There is a Nashville synagogue, the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville, and the Gordon Jewish Community Center. They all say they got an email of this threat on Sunday morning. It impacted all their services. The threats were ultimately, though, deemed not credible, but Metro Police say they still had to get in there and check every single building. The Jewish community in the U.S. right now is experiencing heightened anti-Semitism over the last couple of weeks after Hamas's attack on Israel that happened back in October.
Currently, on a scale of 1 to 10, our Jewish communal security is at a 15 and had already been there.
Rabbi Horwitz says he's also been in touch with the FBI, TBI, and also the U.S. Attorney's Office.
Well, it's 7:07 right now. Fox 17 News is your only live local news source here for you through 9 a.m. with traffic, news, and weather updates. Still to come, our meteorologist Greg Bobus is tracking temperatures across the mid-state, the chance for some flurries in some spots, and our Justin McFarland is making sure you are updated, especially as it comes to the recovery and cleanup efforts in Clarksville. More live looks in minutes.
.09 is the time. Metro Police say speed is being investigated as a factor in a crash that ultimately killed a driver and a passenger early Sunday morning.
Yeah, this happened right around 3 o'clock in the morning on Nolensville Pike near Polk Avenue. Police say the car drove off the road, hit a utility pole, and then burst into flames. The medical examiner's office is still working to identify the victims.
Well, this morning, Fox 17 News, we are still working hard to continue our coverage of the deadly tornadoes that took 6 lives across Middle Tennessee. 3 of those people died, or lived, I should say, in Clarksville after an EF3 tornado just devastated the city.
We have Fort Campbell specialist Eric Zizorder, who moved to Clarksville a few years ago with his wife, Angela Hayes, and their 3 children. Angela's mother and brother, Stephen Hayes, had also been staying with them. On December 9th, the family's lives would forever change, turned upside down when that EF3 tornado destroyed their house. Eric, Angela, their kids, and Angela's mother miraculously survived. But tragically, the tornado took Stephen's life.
I just remember screaming and saying, "I'm not leaving until I see him." And then somebody said, "I hear someone screaming. I think it's your brother."
Oh my goodness. So, I mean, Amanda, speaking with that family, I saw your post on Twitter. They're just devastated.
Yeah, and I mean, I think they're still in the grieving process. You know, it's been a little bit over a week, but I think before they do anything when it comes to house-related issues, they're still trying to process the death of their brother. And I mean, the family that survived, they do not understand how they're here today. I was there. I saw what's left of the house. I mean, it is destroyed. The top of the house, they were upstairs, and it got toppled on top of their neighbor's house.
You know, when you go through tragedies like this, you know, there are stages of grief, right? And you first have to get over the shock of it, right? The shock and the disbelief before you could even start to grieve the loss.
Oh, for sure.
And then, you know, one of the things that I keep thinking about with all of these families who survived is many of them are going to go through that survivor's guilt. And you know, there are ways that we can be there for people who are experiencing that.
Absolutely. And the little glimmer of hope in this story is that I was checking out the GoFundMe account because we do want to get that news out there. And right now they've raised more than $11,000. That's
awesome.
Yes, yeah, and we want to keep supporting that family, of course, as much as we can, because they could use all the support that they need. And I even met their kids too, and they were adorable. So they're really trying, and they're really, really grateful that we came out there. They kept saying thank you to me, thank you. And I go, of course, we want to remember your brother. So.
Amanda, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
We're going to check in now with Greg Bogus because weather is so important with volunteers getting out there and helping families like that.
It is, and this is the best picture you could see. We've got nothing on radar for the rest of the entire week, Monday through Friday. There might be a flurry or two that we'll talk about the next time you see me here in your next check of the Code Red forecast out toward the plateau. But just know it's cold this morning, even colder tomorrow. We're going to break it all down for you coming up in a few. I'll tell you, the cold air does not last all that long. It's a short-lived cold snap, and then we get in toward the Christmas weekend. We get warmer, but we also bring in our next chance for some rain, and we'll talk about any potential snow leading into Christmas Day itself that's coming your way in just a few minutes.
Greg, thank you. Steer clear traffic time right now. Good news, a couple of the crashes that we were following along I-24 are starting to clear. So minor delays coming in from Murfreesboro, Smyrna, Laverne, and Antioch. Minor delays. We're going to look south of town now. Moores Lane, I-65. Look at that. Very low volume, smooth sailing here. So great news for our Williamson County commuters. And I-40 at Fessler's Lane. This is even usually a parking lot. No problems right now at 713.
Well, there are some problems when it comes to the Titans. The season wrapping up with a painful loss. We're going to break down yesterday's plays and how the playoff chances are now over. Stay with us and happy Monday to you. All right, cue the music. We're talking Titans and the playoff hopes officially coming to an end, unfortunately, on Sunday as they fell in overtime to their division rivals, the Houston Texans. Fox 17 Sports Director Jill Jelnick has more on the game, including how the Texans shut down King Henry.
Tennessee Titans missing out on the postseason for the second straight year following their 1916 overtime loss to the Houston Texans. It was a promising start for the Titans as rookie quarterback Will Levis helped lead them to a touchdown on their opening drive, and then cornerback Elijah Molden coming up with a crucial pick six to extend the Titans' lead 13-0. However, the Houston Texans completely shut down the Titans' run game. Texans holding star running back Derrick Henry to negative yards in the first half. Henry would finish with a career-low 9 yards in the game. Henry said afterwards that it's on him. He needs to be better than that. He also gave credit to the Texans defense, saying they showed up, they were the better team today. When asked about being eliminated from playoff contention, Henry said afterwards it won't change his approach for the remaining 3 games. He'll continue to work hard, get better, and do what he can to help lift this team.
Yeah, it's tough. Definitely tough, man. Yeah, definitely tough. I don't really have no words. Just wasn't good enough, and yeah, tough.
I mean, I don't know. I mean, we just got to keep leaning on our guys, keep trusting and teaching, what these coaches are preaching every day. And sometimes it's a miscommunication thing. Sometimes guys are just getting beat, and guys just have to, take a lot of pride in what they're doing and just play hard. But we're just trying to do a better job as a team overall, and obviously today we didn't do that.
Titans rookie quarterback Will Levis did suffer an ankle injury in overtime. He said afterwards he thought it was worse than it is, but something to keep an eye on as the Titans still have 3 remaining games left in the season. Reporting from Nissan Stadium, Jill Jelnick, Fox 17 Sports, your Code Red station.
Jill, thank you so much. Hey, I want to talk real quick about my first nonprofit event. I was trying to give an update to y'all on social media, but here it goes. This was over at Jones Padilla Elementary School, so I do want to give a big shout out and thank you to them because of so many folks getting involved. The Nashville Community Resource Center, Slim and Husky's Pizza, Fleet Feet here in Nashville, all donating a lot, including Grammy Award-winning singer Darius Rucker. Maybe you heard of him. We were able to give out 100 coats, 100 pairs of shoes, free haircuts, free pizzas, free hygiene packs. All of this again happening over at Jones Padilla Elementary School, and they were just fantastic. So, it takes one idea to do or to make a big difference, I should say, and I just so appreciative of that community over in North Nashville.
Good stuff. I cannot believe how close Christmas is, by the way. 1 week from today.
I can't believe it either. December went by in a flash.
Yeah. Greg,
what are you thinking?
Greg?
Are you thinking flurries?
No, I got a lot of work to do before Christmas.
Oh, okay, you're thinking that.
I'm not quite there yet. Erica, I gotta say though, this is the prime example of like, we love to be here with you every morning, but we don't just do it just to be here with you. We want to help you.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, the fact that you used, a platform to get people to do things to help people.
That's what it's all
Thank
about.
you for doing that. I
You're
mean,
so welcome.
look at what all it did and how many families it helped.
Yeah, it was
incredible.
fantastic.
So let's help people out here the next couple of days. We have the tornado survivors that we're trying to help out here. Just everyone getting all of the rubble cleaned up, trying to clean up the houses, trying to get toys, trying to find shelter. It's very cold. Justin McFarland's in Clarksville telling us about ways you can stay warm going into tonight. Flurries possible for today, but that's it. Cumberland Plateau, only place you have to worry about. No accumulation, don't worry about that. As far as moving forward, the areas that could potentially, and I mean, this is a really small chance, maybe a 10% chance of a flurry or two, will only be our upper elevations. By the end of the day, Nashville area mainly sunny in the forecast. What does it mean for temperatures going forward? Only 2 days of cold, 46 degrees today, but look at tonight. Look at your screen. If you don't like cold, or you've been trying to keep the heater off, the last couple of days, make sure your heat works. Overnight tonight, upper teens and low 20s. You're going to feel like you're in the lower teens with the wind when you wake up tomorrow morning. 42 for the afternoon on your Tuesday. No rain Monday through Friday. Rain chances will increase Friday night going into Saturday and Sunday with a big warm up leading into the holiday weekend, but big travel days too. So we'll keep watching this throughout the week for you.
Greg, thank you. I certainly have my eyes on that big warm up on the way. We're taking a live look right here, I-65, the I-24 junction. This is a spot that typically gets that Monday morning commute traffic, so we don't have any disabled vehicles or crashes to tell you about in this area. We're keeping a close eye on other areas, though, that are of concern when it comes to your Monday morning commute.
No other big backups. In fact, I've been impressed with how light the traffic has been today. I think with, maybe folks taking the week off for Christmas and whatnot, we may just have fewer drivers out there. Just real quick, want to go through your commutes. If you're coming in from Clarksville, no problems on I-24. Bellevue, Dickson, Kingston Springs, no problems on I-40. Coming in from Thompson Station, Franklin, Brentwood, no problems on I-65. A little slow on I-24 coming in from southeast of town. I-40 coming in from Mount Juliet, not bad. And if you are north of Nashville, coming on I-65 or Vietnam Vets, a few slowdowns, but nothing really to get in your way.
All right, more opportunities to give back, getting toys to children who would not have a Christmas otherwise. This massive charity effort, what you need to know about it after the break. Happy Monday.
Crimes.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. The time is 7:24. Happening today, Kentucky Governor Andy Beshear is set to unveil his new proposed budget for the state. Not releasing a whole lot of specifics here. He mentioned he wanted to invest in children, which could mean education. It could mean the Department of Children's Services. Wants to make sure families are safe in the Bluegrass State. What that means, still to be determined. But we will keep an eye on the release of his budget proposal. If it comes out before 9 o'clock, we'll have it for you here on the air. And if it comes out later today, we'll have it for you at fox17.com.
How about some positive news this Monday? I like to start off that way. More than 7,500 kids who would not have had a Christmas otherwise now have multiple gifts to open thanks to this weekend's last-minute toy store.
This is the effort that comes in clutch every year. It's an annual tradition in Nashville, making sure that all families will be able to have some gifts to open on Christmas. This year's event ran all weekend long. We had the Davidson County Sheriff's Office and more than 1,000 other volunteers working. And a lot of these folks work year round. It's not just a show up for the weekend and donate toys kind of a thing. This takes a lot of coordinated effort to make sure that families in need get the things they need to have a bright and merry Christmas.
New toys, stocking stuffers, books, board games, sports equipment, gift cards for teenagers. This event draws folks either donating or helping out from across Middle Tennessee and even out of state. Listen.
Because we're all volunteer, we don't have staff promoting and doing all of that out there. It's just word of mouth and grace of God that people hear about it.
I love that. And there was one person who certainly knows about this. CMA New Artist of the Year. Look at it right here. Jelly Roll. Yeah, the country star rolling up to the last-minute toy store with a huge truck full of gifts this weekend. If you didn't know this, Jelly Roll grew up in Antioch. So he's a hometown hero, so to speak.
Giving back. All right. With Christmas just a week away from today, we were curious, how's the shopping going? No pressure here, just kind of curious. Are you done? Kind of done, or you haven't even started yet? Right now, most of you say you are done, 46.5%. This poll is open right now. It's live on our Fox Nashville Twitter account. Go to twitter.com. You'll find us there. You can vote and you can leave a comment.
Okay, I think tomorrow's poll needs to be, have you started your grocery shopping? Where are you at in that?
Or wrapping. Have you started? See, that sometimes is a daunting task.
I would rather go grocery shopping
than wrap
presents.
7:26 is the time right now. We've got to look at the weather story with Greg.
Greg still has to go shopping.
Tomorrow's Twitter poll should be, how stressed are you, in a category of 1 to 5 or 5 to 10? Just period, leading into the upcoming weekend. It's all encompassing. Taking a look here at the weather story, you're right, there's still some shopping to be done. Cold air takes over. Who could see some flurries out to the plateau? You're going to want to listen up here in the next check of the forecast as we go into 7:30. Warm air is on the way for the weekend, so the odds of seeing a white Christmas, they're not looking great. We'll see where they're at. We are cold to kick off this morning, though. Your feels like temperatures as the wind picks up from the north and west, bringing in some cold air. We feel like 35 right now in Nashville, barely holding on to 30 in Cookeville, and we're in the 20s in our westernmost counties. How much colder we're going to be tomorrow morning compared to this morning, coming up in a couple of minutes.
Okay, 7:27 is your time. Do want to hopefully save you some time as you head out the door this Monday morning. Jen was mentioning earlier that a lot of folks might be off for this week because we're not seeing as much traffic out there. So how about this live look, I-40 American Road? I mean, it looks fantastic. This is what we want to see. No crashes, no slowdowns, giving you the green light for I-40 at American Road.
Still to come, a crime involving neighbors and family. We're going to work to sort it all out from you after disturbing details here in the Mid-State.
And we're live this morning in Clarksville, where the cleanup continues after deadly tornadoes rumble through. We're going to tell you what this was back here behind us and how long before it could look like that yet again.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Right now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, a woman arrested for human trafficking, an operation going on, the very latest in this investigation.
Two different live looks from Nashville to kick off your Monday morning. It is December 18th. Looking a little cloudy, a little overcast to start the day, but not too cold. 41 degrees in Nashville. The cool down really comes tonight. Greg is tracking that for you in minutes.
And the holiday travel season is underway, so we're keeping a very close eye on all things in your steer clear traffic. We'll have those updates up until 9 a.m. Want to thank you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Monday morning. Feeling good on Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source through 9 a.m. We have continuing coverage this morning after the deadly tornadoes and the cleanup efforts and rebuilding efforts underway right now in the Mid-State. It's been more than a week now since an EF3 tornado wreaked havoc in Clarksville.
Yeah, so many communities are just working hard trying to pick up those pieces. So right now, Fox 17 News is Justin McFarland joining us live over in Clarksville, where there is a lot going on right behind you.
There certainly is. Crews have been busy for the last few hours here trying to clear the debris at what used to be a couple of restaurants back here behind us. This is Fort Campbell Boulevard, and this used to be the Redwood Chinese restaurant along with the Luigi's Pizza right here on Fort Campbell Boulevard, and both of them are no more as a result of this storm. As a matter of fact, you can see if we can move the camera back over, the very large crane has been moving debris in and out of this area here, trying to smooth it over here. It'll swing back over, grab a handful of debris, and then scoop it back over into the truck. It's been doing that throughout the morning. Crews here in Clarksville have been organizing since the storm happened to try and bring this community back together a little bit at a time. School board members spoke out recently. They say kindness will be the key to trying to bring the community back to whole.
At this tragic time, we have risen up as a community and a system like the Phoenix to overcome our troubles. And we will overcome them and have things back to normal soon. I appreciate the churches. Many of the churches, as Aaron mentioned, have opened up. Mosaic has went far and beyond but many, many other churches have opened their doors for people to come in and stay. I've seen people opening their houses, rental companies opening apartments and empty houses for people to come and stay in that have been affected by this. Things you just don't see anywhere else in America.
Now, you heard him mention Mosaic Church. Mosaic, along with Life Point Church, are two of the churches here in Clarksville that have been organizing volunteers to go out into the community and help. They're asking everyone, if you want to volunteer to help storm victims, those are the best ways to do it, by contacting those two churches, Mosaic or Life Point Church here in Clarksville. Reporting for you live, I'm Justin McFarland, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Justin, thank you. We have an update new this morning in Operation Crime and Justice to a story that we first brought you over the weekend. We now know the name of the man who police say hit and killed a bicyclist in Franklin over the weekend. It happened Saturday morning on Mac Hatcher Memorial Parkway at Liberty Pike. We understand there were two bicyclists involved in this crash. Police now say 23-year-old Hidalgo Denelson is charged with driving under the influence and vehicular homicide after one of those two bicyclists died. We understand that Denelson is being held right now on a $400,000 bond.
7:34 your time, taking a look at your Code Red forecast here. This is that week leading up to the Christmas weekend, and we've got a cold start to the day. Nothing really happening right now. Right side of your screen, current temps are in the upper 30s and low 40s. A live look at Lower Broadway, and this will be one of those places that may or may not be busy this weekend, because we know how many of us have moved to Nashville here from other places and may be going home, or maybe you're bringing family into town. We'll keep our eyes on all of our cameras throughout this week. Just know that getting out the door this morning here on December 18th on this Monday, 1 week away from Christmas, 37 degrees at 8 a.m., 40 degrees at 9, 42 at 10 o'clock. We're going to see our cloud cover break. We'll go back to sunshine later this afternoon. Cumberland Plateau, you have the chance you could see a flurry or two. We're not worried about anything when it comes to snow that sticks, but a couple of light snowflakes can't be ruled out later on this afternoon. Everyone else will be partly cloudy to mostly sunny by the end of the day. 46 your afternoon high. A warm up into the weekend that we'll talk about coming up in a few minutes.
All right, 7:35 is the time right here. And we always want to help you get out the door safely and save you some time on Fox 17 News. So here is another update in your Steer Clear traffic report. This is Vietnam Veterans Boulevard. No slowdowns to tell you about, no crashes. It looks really good as of right now, but we know that Monday morning commute is picking up for folks who are not off this week, who are heading into work. So we'll continue keeping a very close eye on all things traffic related. Now to a very disturbing story here. A man arrested over in Centerville for shooting and killing a neighbor, and what the TBI says may be retaliation for the death of the man's father. The TBI says that 70-year-old Wallace Reidker was shot and killed, and that their investigation led to his neighbor, 70-year-old David Cathan, as a suspect. But later, Cathan was found shot in his driveway. The TBI says 35-year-old John Reidker, Wallace's son, is now under suspicion for that shooting, and he is now in custody without bond.
It's 7:36 right now. We're going to get you updated on your sports headlines after the weekend. We'll talk Titans and we'll talk Preds. Their win streak continues. We've got the highlights from the weekend.
And Fox 17 News also following this tornado cleanup effort that's going on. This is over in Springfield. That's where our photojournalist is giving us some live looks. So what's next for this area, and what is it like when it comes to traffic there? Are the roads back open? We got you covered.
Hi, I'm Bob Webster.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this Monday morning. We know that it's been over a week since the deadly tornadoes that rocked the mid-state. That was last Saturday. And since then, we've made a lot of progress, but there's still a lot of communities who are looking at so much damage.
Yeah, especially for families that are trying to, make progress here before Christmas. One of the areas hardest hit is Springfield in Robertson County, and that's where we're taking a live look right now, thanks to our photojournalist, Kevin Mumphrey, who's out there. This is along Memorial Boulevard. This is part of the heart of Springfield. What you're looking at right now is what's left of Holman Jewelers. This is right across the street from the Kroger Shopping Center, and Holman Jewelers has been a fixture in Robertson County for decades. Do you know when they first started business there?
When?
1953.
Wow, and now they're dealing with all this damage.
And now this is what's left of their business right here before Christmas. You think about how much small businesses like this rely on customers for Christmas.
That's when they make the bulk of their
yeah. buying jewelry for your honey, you know, or for your kids. And so just devastating. But I will say that the folks that own Holman Jewelers put something on Facebook right after the tornado saying, you know, everyone is safe. We so appreciate your prayers. They're asking everybody to just kind of steer clear of this area, to stay safe. Man, just, you know, praying for members of these small communities who run these small businesses, you know, that is their lifeline.
Absolutely. And if you're looking for ways to volunteer, donate, or those GoFundMe pages that we always talk about, go to fox17.com. We have all of our stories that we have covered and all of that information for you.
7:41 is the time right now. Let's get to some sports headlines after the weekend. It was a big weekend for the Preds. We'll get to the Titans later. It's a big weekend for the Preds. Something really clicking with this team now. You know, they started off real rough. All right, the first part of the season not looking so good, like a different team playing now, and they are on a roll. In the first 15 games, for example, they were 5-10. Last 15 games, they're 12-3.
And the Preds, coming off an overtime win Friday against the Canes, turned around quickly Saturday night to host the Washington Capitals. Nashville on the board first, thanks to a power play goal by Colton Sissons. Capitals tied it up in the second, but Preds postponed, or responded, I should say, and kept the energy up in the third, ending up at a score of 3-1.
UC Saros with another big night in the net. He stopped 21 of 22 shots on goal. The Preds win their fourth in a row. Next up, immediately, we are hosting the Vancouver Canucks. That's tomorrow night right here in Smashville.
And keep up with the games, because I know they were holding relief efforts for the games and different drop-off things. So keep that in mind if you're heading out for the games this week.
Great idea. Now, this morning, our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobus, has been tracking some changes afoot in your forecast, you could say. We've got the feels like wind chill temperatures right now. Woo, that feels a lot colder than 41, which is registering on the gauges. But yeah, it feels like 35 in Nashville. Look at Hopkinsville.
29.
Feels like 29. Same in Cookeville. 27 in Crossville.
Now listen, you're dealing with these temperatures, but as we head into the weekend, it's a warm-up.
It is. Steer clear traffic right now. We have our eye on something that's popping on I-40 near Central Pike out near Mount Juliet. TDOT is on the scene, so that's great news, but it looks like we've got a car with some trouble off to the right shoulder. Again, this is at Central Pike and not causing a huge backup, but if you wanted to just avoid I-40 coming into Nashville this morning, we've got this slowdown and then another slowdown as you approach the Fesslers interchange. You could take Lebanon Pike for your detour.
We could easily be dead right now.
Yeah, continuing coverage of the devastation from the deadly tornadoes that hit the mid-state, how the Hendersonville community is coming together and finding a road to recovery.
Plus, Fox 17 News sharing the story of the family who managed to survive this house fire. The details here in minutes.
Attention homeowners.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Happening now, Metro Police are searching for the man who they say stole thousands of dollars from an arcade bar on Woodland Street. It all happened Sunday morning. What you're looking at here is a surveillance picture. Detectives say the man in question approached an employee at the Up-Down bar while he was taking out the trash, pointed a gun at him, and then demanded to be taken to the bar's safe. Police say the suspect then tied the employee to a chair and took off running. Again, this is the Up-Down arcade bar on Woodland Street. If you have any information, please call Crime Stoppers. That number is 742-7463.
There is a family over in Montgomery County that is just thankful to be alive after a fire destroyed their house on Saturday. Now 5 folks, though, are without a home. But again, they're uninjured. So Montgomery County Fire Services sharing this video. Look at this. The fire becoming just engulfed in flames around 2:30. This happened on Saturday afternoon. The Red Cross is now helping with that family. But when you look at this video, Jen, you wonder, did anyone make it out? My goodness. We also did a Zillow check. The house had been just bought earlier this year. The cause of this fire, though, is still unknown.
You can't believe it's happening, and then it's just over quick.
Those are 2 folks in the Hendersonville area who are looking back on so much of their life that is now in shambles as we take a look at the aftermath and the recovery efforts from the tornadoes that touched down here in Middle Tennessee. Fox
17 News' Peyton Muse is in Hendersonville with the musical family's story of survival.
120-mile-per-hour winds ripping through Hendersonville. And Dwayne Jones and Geneva Keynes' home, a log cabin, more than 100 years old, and this stage in their backyard. The couple has played together as the Geneva Band for 27 years. Just before the rash of tornadoes, Dwayne and Geneva were getting ready for a fundraiser show in Hendersonville.
And we started getting text messages from friends, and one friend in particular texted her and was tracking the storm and said, "It's about to hit you."
They hit the floor when they heard the heavy rush of the winds.
It was very scary.
Very quick, too.
It was very fast.
Quick. We could easily be dead right now.
Geneva and Dwayne say they're beyond lucky. The damage to their log home was minimal. But 2 of their cars and their band's tour van and some musical equipment gone.
The minivan, of course, is absolutely gone. And the one that hurts the most is...
Geneva says the van can be replaced. The decades of memories it held cannot.
You know, it just took us around the country.
But Geneva is grateful for her close network of friends and community.
We're closer to our neighbors more than we ever have been.
Yeah.
You know, and we've just seen so much giving and so much compassion, you know, over the past few days.
Southern Roofing and Renovations has been on the grounds, boarding up homes and tarping roofs, not charging a dime. CJ Harrison and Curtis Green, who run the business, want to help their neighbors, especially right before Christmas.
So many people are losing their homes, losing their roofs. So when we come out, we want to be forefront of our mind is come out here, take care of people, help them through this troublesome situation, because this can be scary.
Scary, but not insurmountable, like the 6 lives lost in Middle Tennessee.
I'm just so saddened about everybody else's loss.
Reporting in Hendersonville, I'm Peyton Muse, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
All right, 7:49. We've been blessed over the last week or so with a lot of good weather.
It's sunshine.
That has allowed folks to clean up. We did have some rain over the weekend. Hopefully everybody got those tarps up, right? But more sunshine on tap for the week, so more cleanup can happen.
More cleanup can happen. It's not going to be anything to worry about Monday through Friday. I mean,
that's great.
Cold. Don't get me wrong. Today and tomorrow are not the best feeling days, but at least we'll have some sun by the end of today, and that will continue. Prepare for some wind. And then the cold today and tomorrow. Let's talk this entire week and work you into the upcoming holiday weekend and just kind of piece everything together. So right now, do you want a white Christmas? Sorry, not going to happen. I don't need the letters of I want some snow to come down. It's not going to happen. This is not one of those Christmases where we even have a chance for snow falling at any point during the weekend leading into Monday, which is Christmas Day. What is a white Christmas, though? We talk about it every year because there's always this song and we know everything. A white Christmas, by definition, is at least 1 inch of snow on the ground at 7 a.m. That does not happen that often here in Middle Tennessee on Christmas Day. However, there are some years that we do have a chance to see a little bit of snow. White Christmas dream meter, maybe next year. It's a warm Christmas, up near 60 degrees later on this afternoon. This morning, temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. We feel colder, though, than the right side of your screen. Those current temps will stay up until 9 o'clock this morning, but we feel like we're in the 30s across the board. This 7-day forecast, I'm not going to hide it from you. I'm just going to give it to you here about every 10 minutes so you know what's coming your way for the rest of this week leading into the weekend. Maybe you have some shopping, whether that is groceries or presents, potentially. 46 degrees later on today, 22 overnight. Tomorrow morning, we're going to feel like we're in the teens. So we're bundling up here for 48 hours. 42 degrees for Tuesday, and then 50s return Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. Next rain chances are small, but they're here for the week, and I'm going to keep my eyes on those and pinpoint the hour-by-hour likelihood as we get toward the middle of this week.
Greg, thank you so much. When it comes to your steer clear traffic at 751, we are seeing how this area is shaping up. This is I-440, Nolensville Road. This is looking very, very good. You're not seeing any brake checks out there or any slowdowns. Giving you the green light for I-440. Again, this is at Nolensville Road.
A special opportunity, especially if you are looking to bring home a new fur baby for the holidays. We'll tell you about Metro Nashville Animal Care and Control's Christmas offerings. Welcome back.
If you've been considering adopting a pet, now would be a really great time to go ahead and adopt because there is a discount going on.
Yeah, there is. This is through Metro Animal Care and Control. They have a $25 adoption fee right now, which is greatly reduced. They are trying to make sure that some of these sweet cats and dogs get a good home for the holidays. They're open noon to 4, 7 days a week right now, so that you can get in there and get familiar with some of the babies and decide which one might be a good fit for you and your family. The Metro Animal Care and Control wanted us to pass along this message. Do not surprise anybody with a pet for Christmas.
No, let's ask first if you're ready for that responsibility.
That should be something planned out because it is a long-term commitment.
Let's talk about your weather weekend outlook. Greg Bobus has that for you.
Yeah, 50s by the weekend here. Let's talk more pets, too, at the same time. So we know 40 degrees at 9 a.m., and then we'll stay in the 40s all day long. Our dog of the day this morning, how's it going, Yogi? I'm told Yogi watches every morning. Apparently he's in charge of the remote. Good choice. Taking a look here, going through the afternoon, temperature's going to stay in the 40s for us here all day long. Going to be a little windy too. Wind gusts up near 30 miles per hour. So if you've got one of the floppy-eared dogs and you're walking later today, you might see them kind of hustling in the wind here. 45 at noon, 43 degrees at 2 p.m. The clouds are going to break a little bit going into the afternoon, but mainly cloudy to kick off today. How you send your photos in? Right side of your screen, top right-hand side, right next to where it says Code Red Weather, is the little Facebook logo. That's where you go. You go to Facebook, my page, meteorologist Greg Bobus, the top pinned post that has that photo right there. That's my mail carrier. She will bring your photos right here on air for us here on Fox 17, and you'll see a dog of the day every day as we work you through your morning.
Steer clear traffic right now. I want to let you know that we're following what looks to be a crash on Harding Place near I-24. This camera shows us the I-24 commute at that intersection, but we don't have a visual on the backup. I will say that the backup is on both sides of I-24 along Harding Place. So if you want to go ahead and pick a detour, now would be a good time to do that so you can avoid the backups there. We'll get another check of steer clear traffic in minutes.
Promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
Do you know someone who is a hometown hero in our community? That's the question. Because if you do, Fox 17 News, we want to share their story. Ponce Law and Fox 17, we're teaming up to find and award local hometown heroes $1,000. And listen, this can be a veteran, a teacher, first responder, or frontline worker. We have met so many incredible folks who are doing awesome things in our communities. Take a look at this screen because this is how you can nominate your hometown hero. Do so online at poncelaw.com/hometown hero, and then every single month a selected hero will then be featured right here on Fox 17 News.
Promotional consideration for this program provided by Ponce Law.
Well, this morning as we are on the countdown to Christmas, 1 week from today, and we asked the question over on our Facebook page, what Christmas song makes you cringe? Now we know people have favorites, but what's that one song that you just don't like to listen to at Christmas? More than 300 of you have chimed in over on our Facebook page. Let's take a look at some of the comments now this morning. All right, number one, can you relate to this? Melissa Davis says, Mariah Carey's, let's get my pen working here. Mariah Carey's All I Want for Christmas. She says that's the one that makes her cringe. Stephanie Runyon says Christmas Shoes. Now, this is a song for me personally that makes me cry every time I hear it. Have you heard this one, Erica? Christmas Shoes? Not. Okay, I'll share it to you during the break. It's a tearjerker for me. I don't know why. Andrew Donadio said anything by Mariah Carey, Paul McCartney, George Michael, or Bruce Springsteen. He doesn't like any of that Christmas music. And then Penny Bryan says Santa Claus is Coming to Town. What? She doesn't like that one. You know, it's all personal preference. For some of you, you might love All I Want for Christmas Is You. But that's the beauty in these kinds of things. Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. If you want to sound off and let us know what you think, head on over to our Fox Nashville Facebook page and comment on this post.
All right. Well, talking about animals, if you think your cat is a fierce little thing, there is a new study saying that they could be even more effective than you realize. And it's bad news for thousands of other animals out there. That's because researchers looking at the global impact of free-ranging domestic cats. Okay, they found out that they eat more than 2,000 species of rodents, insects, and birds. But some folks who live on farms say that's a pretty good situation to have. That's what I would say, but okay. Apparently they're threatening other species. The study's authors say cats are known to spread disease, and they can even have some species or cause some species to become extinct. The study was published this week. But like I said, if you live on a farm, it's a good problem to have, in my opinion. Stay with us. Our 8 o'clock hour is starting right now.
You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
It is 8 o'clock on the dot right now on Fox 17 News This Morning. Bomb threats emailed to Jewish groups around Nashville. The response this morning from police and religious leaders.
We're live this morning in Clarksville, where things are busy with debris cleanup. We're going to tell you more about it from this Clarksville neighborhood.
And you see Justin bundled up out there, but also sunshine beating down on us here, starting to come out across the board of how much colder we're going to get leading into the Christmas weekend.
And steer clear traffic not looking too bad in most of our spots this morning. We'll show you some of the slowdowns, though, and help make sure you can steer clear.
All right, want to start, though, by thanking you for waking up with us here bright and early on a Monday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. Glad to be your live local news source. Always here for you through 9 a.m. When those other stations go to the network programming, that's not live. That's pre-recorded, but we've got you covered here for the next hour.
We sure do. We're going to start right now talking about the storm damage cleanup that is happening in so many parts of the mid-state, including Clarksville and Montgomery County.
We know that many members of the Fort Campbell community have been impacted, along with so many others. And joining us live this morning with the updates from Clarksville is Fox 17 News' Justin McFarland.
Yeah, good morning. This is Morningside Drive here in Clarksville, where they are beginning yet another morning of cleanup here. And this time it's the Clarksville City Works Department that is out here helping out. They say they're going to be out here most of the day in the middle of debris cleanup. This neighborhood is just off of Fort Campbell Boulevard. The Clarksville Police Department is out here as well. They're shutting down the street here, trying to make sure that the cleanup crews have the room that they need in order to operate here in this area. Now, we were talking with one of the neighbors out here a few moments ago. They told us just 3 of the, let's just call it, 15 to 20 houses out here on the street are actually livable. Just 3 of them. The others are no longer livable at all. And it's going to take a massive rebuild in order to get his neighborhood back up and going. In the meantime, we've also been hearing from school board members. They're telling us that they are thankful from the output that they've been getting so far from the community. Everyone just willing to help.
I have to say the storm came within 2 football fields of my home. And we were blessed not to be affected. But right around the corner, there are people who don't have a home anymore. They'll have to be demolished. And I want to say that it's going to be kindness that's going to get them through. And the satisfaction of being kind to another. And let us continue to try to perform an act of kindness every day.
Meanwhile, what they're asking people to do here in this area in Clarksville is that if you are in this area, go ahead and try to stay out of people's way here on Morningside Drive, Eva Drive, along Fort Campbell Boulevard. There's a lot of crews who are going to be working throughout the day. They're just asking people that if you're in this area, please try to stay out of people's way if you can. That is what they're asking for here at this particular moment. We're live this morning here in Clarksville. I'm Justin McFarland, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
Justin, thank you so much. And Fox 17 News.
Justin, thank you. Fox 17 News dedicated to helping those impacted by the tornadoes. That's why we are teaming up with the Salvation Army and their emergency disaster services. By teaming up with them, we are able to help get them the money that's needed to then be distributed to our community. So all you have to do to help, and this is so easy. I know a lot of you have said to us, you want to help, but you don't know how. If you scan the QR code that's on your screen right now, that will take you to a link straight to the Salvation Army. It's a safe, secure, way to easily donate. So again, tap that smartphone camera, open up the link, and then you can donate right there. Fox 17 News teaming up with Salvation Army to help make this possible. Right now at 8:04, Greg is back from his little Christmas break, spending some time with family, and getting to the bottom line here for our forecast.
That we are. We're going from severe weather about 9 days ago to the possibility of some snow flurries later on this afternoon. So I kind of brought the cold back with me, Jen. I was in Chicago, and there were a couple little flurries out there, and we had temperatures that were in the 20s, and now we're going to have 20s tonight going into tomorrow morning. Now, it's going to be a little quick snap of cold air. So maybe you're not from Nashville and you want a little taste of winter from where you were from. Maybe that's the Midwest or the Northeast. You're going to get that. Cumberland Plateau, best chance for a few snowflakes. The higher elevations this time of the year are always just a couple degrees cooler, and that's the possibility this afternoon. Nothing will stick, and honestly, 95% of us, even on the plateau, aren't going to see much that we have to worry about when it even comes to snowflakes coming down. But the area that could see some snow right there, shaded in the light blue, areas like Cookeville, Crossville, think Monterey, Hopkinsville. Those are areas that could see a few flakes flying later on this afternoon. Right side of your screen, your current temperatures are in the 30s and 40s. That will not be the case for how it feels right now, though. The wind picking up. The wind is the big story coming up in a few. 46 degrees later on today, 42 tomorrow, and we'll talk about a weekend warm-up in just a couple of minutes from right now. Right now, look at your steer clear traffic.
All righty, Greg, thanks so much. Steer clear traffic actually looking really good on this Monday morning. We've been surprised with the light volume and the very few crashes that we've been tracking. Right now, everything looks okay on the interstates. This is I-65 at Vietnam Veterans. Not a lot of volume here. Very slow Monday morning. I think a lot of folks might have the week off for Christmas. If so, congratulations. Enjoy your week off. The one thing that we're following is on Harding Place. It looks like we've got a crash where Harding intersects with I-24. We'll take another look at that here in just a couple of minutes.
Developing now, several Jewish-affiliated organizations in Nashville say they got a bomb threat over the weekend. A Nashville synagogue, the Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville, and the Gordon Jewish Community Center all say they got the email threats Sunday morning. The threats were ultimately deemed not credible, but Metro Police say they still checked every single building. The Jewish community in the U.S. is experiencing heightened anti-Semitism in recent weeks after Hamas's attack on Israel back in October.
Currently, on a scale of 1 to 10, our Jewish communal security is at a 15 and had already been there.
Rabbi Horwitz says he has also been in touch with the FBI, TBI, and the U.S. Attorney's Office.
As we continue our coverage of the impact of the deadly tornadoes in our communities, we're live in Springfield. That Valvoline Oil Change Center, very little left standing of that. This is right along Memorial Boulevard. We'll take a look at the cleanup efforts underway there this morning.
And we're talking sports. The Titans wrapping up their season with a painful loss. We're breaking down their playoff chances. Well, it's over now, but where do they go from here?
Wrap a night of
Hey, 8:09 is the time here on Fox 17 News this morning. And we know it's been more than a week since the deadly tornadoes that rocked the mid-state, and tornado cleanup efforts continue across various areas, including over in Springfield. That is where we find one of our photojournalists, Kevin, who is out there in Springfield, giving us a look at the Valvoline gas station over there, where there was a lot of traffic and a lot of damage as well. That is near the Kroger. That's over on Memorial Boulevard.
Interestingly enough, this Valvoline Oil Change Center, which was decimated in the tornado, one of the things I'm noticing, if you look just beyond that silver pickup, right behind that silver pickup is a black pickup that has been trapped in that oil change bay ever since the tornado. It's still there. We got word from the city manager from Springfield that there were people working in this oil change center when the tornado hit. They took cover in the oil bays.
Oh, yeah.
So you know where the crews will go in and work underneath of your vehicle when they change your oil? They dropped down in there and took cover from the tornado in those oil bays. And, you know, while we've seen a lot of work done in Springfield, there is still so much to do.
And I remember just last week when our Amanda Chin was over there and we saw in the Kroger parking lot plywood that had gone through the front windshield of vehicles.
Yeah.
And a lot of those vehicles just still in the parking lot.
Yeah. I'm going to call the Kroger this morning. I want to see if they've been able to reopen this morning. I know as of last week, they were still closed. So maybe during this next commercial break, I'll put in a phone call real quick and see if we can find out whether that Kroger has been able to reopen.
Right now, though, we're talking about Titans and yesterday's big loss. It's behind them, and they're looking ahead now. 3 games left in the regular season.
Yeah, so to this point, we're playing for pride, right? I mean, that's all we've got left. So 3 games left in the season. As for yesterday's loss to the Texans, we scored on the opening drive thanks to that rushing touchdown by Will Levis. He's just a beast. The Texans quickly shut down the Titans offense, though, after that. Running back Derrick Henry had a career low 9 rushing yards.
Ouch. Texans were able to score a touchdown in the final minutes of the game to tie it up at 16-16 and then send it into overtime. That's when the Texans kicker made a 54-yard field goal for the game winner. But I like what you said there, Jen. They're playing for pride.
At this point, yeah. And just try to keep everybody healthy, right? We know that Will Levis had an injury at the end of the game yesterday. We hope to get an update on his injury today, maybe tomorrow.
And now folks are talking about the future of Derrick Henry with the Titans. So we'll see what happens.
So we mentioned those 3 games we still have left in the regular season.
Yes.
We're going to play the Seahawks here at home Christmas Eve. And then we turn around and play the Texans again. On the road.
That's like insults.
I know. On the road in Houston. That's going to be a New Year's Eve game.
And now this can end up being one of those things where the motivation might not just be to keep people healthy and to keep motivation going, but when you're out of the playoffs, whenever I was in like a sports team and I knew like we could make the playoffs, maybe we can go wreck someone else's season.
Right? Who can you take out at this point?
Who can you take out to maybe make them not get into the playoffs now? You know, there's 2 sides to look at it, but you know, the playoffs, our chances are kind of like how our garbage can might look later. Kind of like lost in the wind here at this point. Where's your garbage can going to be later on this afternoon because of the wind? Yeah, it's going to be right down the yard here in your neighbor's yard. So we'll try again next year when it comes to football. And as far as your, trash can goes, if you don't go grab it right now, and if the trash collectors have already come, go grab it right now. Wind's going to pick up very quickly for us going into the afternoon. Let's take a look at wind speeds and where they're going to be throughout this morning into the afternoon. We're going to start off with wind speeds that are going to be up to 30 miles per hour for gusts as early as 2 p.m. Stays there the entire afternoon. No relief for the wind all day long today, and colder air moves in. We'll take a look at how cold will be tonight compared to this morning, coming up in a couple of minutes in your COVID forecast.
Some good advice there, Greg. Thank you so much. At 8:13, let's check in now with your Steer Clear traffic update to see what it's looking like before you hit the road. I-24 at Harding Place looking very good right now. That's just the name of the game. We're not seeing too many slowdowns, not any crashes to report about right now. We'll continue following your traffic updates, though, until 9 o'clock.
Well, at 8:14 right now, Fox 17 News giving you a live look from the heart of downtown Nashville. We can see a bunch of cranes out there working right now just to the left side of your screen. I think it's safe to say we're still in crane watch mode.
Crane City.
Just about everywhere you turn. Is it our new city bird? The Nashville city bird is the crane. Anyhow, we've got your live local news through 9 a.m. with more weather and traffic updates next.
At 8:16, we have continuing coverage here on Fox 17 News of the deadly December 9th tornadoes. 3 of the 6 people killed in that tornado outbreak happened over in Clarksville.
Yeah, and Fox 17 News' Amanda Chin with the latest on one Clarksville family's story.
The family tells me they don't know how they're here today. They recall the upstairs of their house right here falling on top of their neighbor's house over there, and that's where they got up. But unfortunately, the tornado took the life of a loving brother and son. Fort Campbell specialist Eric Jadotor moved to Clarksville a few years ago with his wife, Angela Hayes, and 3 children. Angela's mother and brother, Stephen Hayes, had also been staying with them.
He was always loving, always caring, always energetic.
On December 9th, Angela's mother alerted everyone a tornado was coming.
She was screaming, banging on the doors to get the kids out.
But it all happened so quick. By the time the kids and grandma were heading downstairs, it was too late.
They just got engulfed with the carpeting in the hallway. The roof flew up off the ceiling, and I felt like the back wall kind of threw me to the ground. And all I just saw was just everything spinning.
When Angela got out of the rubble, she was in disbelief.
I saw my husband emerge from around the rubble and just started screaming and yelling for the family and yelling for me and the kids.
That's when Eric started frantically searching for the rest of his family after he remembers flying in the air.
My first instinct was, did my family make it? I knew I wasn't going to make it. But I believe God have a reason why he kept us alive.
Eric got his mother-in-law and 3 young kids to safety after they had been trapped by a wall. But Angela's brother, Stephen,
I just remember panicking and wondering where he was at. I'm sorry. Because me and my brother, we were so close growing up.
Angela and Eric eventually found Stephen. Medics took Stephen to the hospital, but hours later, she received the worst phone call.
He called me and said he didn't make it, that they pronounced him dead on the scene. I'm sorry. I just know he's in a better place now, but it's hard.
While Eric and Angela believe there are 6 walking miracles, there's also an angel now watching over them.
Hearing that story really puts things in perspective.
Oh, it really does. Amanda, I know, as part of our journey and sharing the stories, right, from these communities, it's so hard for them, and it's hard on I know you being out there, trying to share their stories, but it does give a lot of people hope too,
Right. And I mean, they're so brave and courageous in sharing their story with me because they're going through the most grief right now, just getting through that. And so for them to be able to share the memories that they have with their brother and uncle, he was a loving brother, uncle and son, is just really brave of them. And they're just so thankful that we came out and spoke with them and are trying to help them out. We have that GoFundMe page that we've been sharing on our website to try and support them, especially Christmas is right around the corner, and the brother was here visiting for Christmas. So
And they're going to need so much help.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So right now that GoFundMe account that you're talking about has more than $11,000 raised, but we want to share that as much as possible.
Of course.
We've got it posted, by the way, over on our website, fox17.com, so we made it really easy for you. If you'd like to help that family, just head to the website and find the story, and you can donate right there.
Amanda, thanks so much for joining us here.
It's 8:20 right now. Let's check in on the forecast right now with our Code Red meteorologist, Greg Bobus.
Yeah, taking a look here, and there are a lot of things we have to do this week to get ready for the holiday, and also a lot of cleanup efforts that are still taking place here. Shelters that are opening up for the cold. Nothing on top of the radar right now, but the cold is the big story when it comes to the forecast moving forward. If you're an outdoor runner, this might be a perfect morning for you here. A little bit of a breeze, temperatures in the 30s to right near 40 degrees. Not too cold, but also not too warm. We're kind of in that Goldilocks area where it comes to temperature and comfort for outdoor exercising. We'll stay in the 40s all morning, afternoon, and evening. It will get breezy, though. We're going to have wind gusts later this morning into the afternoon up to 30 miles per hour. Nothing on visibility tracker, so that's helpful for us here. Clouds beginning to break. Will be mainly sunny later on this afternoon, but even looking at a few of our sky cameras here, you can even just tell how the wind is starting to pick up, how they're being jostled around. That's the big story. 46 degrees this afternoon.
Steer clear traffic right now. Let's take a live look. I-65 at Trinity Lane. A little bit stacked up, but honestly, as this commute typically goes, this is not bad at all. A little slow coming in north of Nashville into downtown. I'm going to check something here real quick behind the scenes. We might have a situation that's developing. This is on I-65 over near Craighead. It's not a crash. It looks like we might have just had a car that was pulled over on the shoulder, but nothing impacting your morning commute. All in all, things look pretty good. We'll check in again on Steer Clear Traffic in just a few minutes.
Okay, that sounds good. We also want to take a second and just say thank you for waking up with us here every morning on Fox 17. We are your only local station with traffic and weather updates live from 4 all the way up until 9. And you can always see your weather updates and headlines scrolling on the right side of your screen, even during commercial breaks. Stay with us. Pretty skies.
Knows you need to save.
Welcome back to Fox 17 News this morning. Wanted to give you a heads up on something happening today. Metro Nashville is opening an extreme cold weather overflow shelter for people who are homeless. We've got the details right here. Today is Monday, December 18th. They will open that shelter at 7 o'clock tonight. It'll be open until 7 o'clock tomorrow morning. The location here is 3230 Brick Church Pike in Nashville. Couples and pets are welcome, but if you are bringing a pet with you, that pet has to be crated. If you need to get out of the cold, you're asked to first seek shelter at the rescue mission. Also check room in the inn. And then this cold weather overflow shelter would be your third option.
All right. I also want to take a moment just to say thank you and show you some video from my first nonprofit event that I was able to organize and host. And also really say thank you to Jones Padilla Elementary School and Darius Rucker for donating so much money for us to be able to provide free coats, 100 coats for students at that school and in the community, as well as Fleet Feet for donating 100 pairs of shoes, Slim and Huskies donating pizzas, another food truck was out there, and then folks in the community, local barbers who gave their time to do some haircuts, and Vanderbilt University, they gave more than 100 books out to children on this day. This was back on December 9th. So thanks to all of y'all. Just a pleasure to be out there in the community making a difference.
Good stuff. Hey, 8:26 right now, and with Christmas just a week away from today, what's the status of your shopping list? That's our viewer poll of the morning so far, about 280 votes. 46% of you say you're done. 33% say you're almost there. And then 19% of you say you haven't even started. Hey, that's okay. You know what? Some people like shopping at the last minute. They say you get better deals.
True.
You could save some money. And maybe there's a little bit of excitement about the rush of the season that you like. You can sound off on our poll anytime.
Sounds stressful to me.
Yeah, I know. Fox 17, Fox Nashville is the account on Twitter. Greg?
That is the most optimistic way of describing my life right now because is the mall open later?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm in that secondary tier of we're not close to being done just yet. Taking a look here, top of the radar, we mentioned cold shelters that are going to be open. Here's why. Cold front is moving through as we speak. It's going to be a mainly dry front, but it could kick up a couple of snowflakes in the Cumberland Plateau this afternoon. Other than that, we're already seeing the cloud cover decrease for us here throughout this morning and toward the afternoon. Good news right there. Cold temperatures ahead, though. Here's the chance for snow. Taking a look, not much of one here. We're not even seeing a speck of blue on future track, but I will tell you, the afternoon where these clouds do persist, there is a chance for a flake or two. We'll take a look at your 7-day forecast and my first thoughts on Christmas Day coming up as we go into our 8:30 half hour.
8:27 is the time. We are keeping a very close eye on all things traffic related. But Jen, you were just saying it's an odd day when it comes to slowdowns out there. Any kind of slowdowns, not really seeing much.
It's been a weird traffic day for sure. Very slow on the volume. Hang with us as TDOT is trying to zoom in on something. It looks like we might have somebody getting a ticket or something on I-40 at Donaldson Pike. If it's not getting a ticket, maybe they're just having car trouble. This is right over by the airport. This is not causing a backup because, again, we just don't have a lot of traffic this morning. I'm guessing maybe people are taking the week off. School's still in session for most of our kiddos, but yeah, definitely light traffic, and this looks to be the worst of what we're dealing with right now on the interstates.
Well, after the break, Fox 17 News getting some more updates about a very sad situation involving a neighbor who might have been targeted by a shooter. We're going to have some more updates.
We're live this morning in Clarksville. This is where they are continuing to clean up the damage left by deadly tornadoes. We're going to tell you about certain types of not just businesses, but churches that were hard hit by the storms.
Running out for You're watching Fox 17 News This Morning, your Code Red station.
Now on Fox 17 News this Monday morning, a woman arrested for human trafficking. More on the operation and the latest in the investigation.
Sunshine coming up, but very cold today. Even colder tomorrow. How long our cold snap is going to last, and a sneak peek ahead to your Christmas weekend.
And all in all, not a bad commute here on your Monday morning. One minor issue that's just popped up. We'll show you the location and tell you whether you need a detour in just a couple minutes.
Not bad at all. Want to start though by thanking you for waking up with us here on a Monday morning for Fox 17 News. I'm Erica Glover.
And I'm Jennifer Waddell. We've got you covered as your live local news source for the next half hour.
Right now, Fox 17 News giving continuing coverage, talking about how it's been more than a week since the deadly storms just wreaked a whole lot of havoc on several areas here in the Mid-State.
And as we watch the cleanup and recovery efforts, plus the rebuilding efforts begin, we are sharing the stories of how these communities are coming together. We begin now with Fox 17 News' Justin McFarland, live in Clarksville.
Yeah, good morning from Clarksville, just off of Fort Campbell Boulevard. That's where we find the Fellowship Baptist Church, or at least what's left of it. Back here behind me, this is some of the worst damage I've seen so far, where this small church was demolished by the storm. It really honestly looks like a bulldozer did this, but it was not a bulldozer. Instead, it was an EF3 tornado that tore apart not only this church, but many other homes in this community that had left so much damage back behind it all weekend long. Volunteers have been out trying to clean up from this particular storm, and now this morning the city of Clarksville is out doing their part, picking up debris in this particular neighborhood. A few days ago, the Clarksville Montgomery County School Board spoke out. A lot of their people are saying that teachers and educators are going to do their part to come together to help the community heal.
Millions of dollars will be needed to rebuild, but let me remind you of all those things that are more important and cost nothing. Holding a hand, giving a hug, encouraging words, smiles, working side by side, sitting with someone, taking a walk, sharing similar stories, promising to come back tomorrow, shedding tears together. And as I wrote this last night, I thought, that sounds familiar. I think that's what educators do every day anyway. So as I've reminded you throughout this year to sit at the educators' table and have conversations with teachers, all of the above suggestions tell us that we must now sit at the families' table. That is where we will hear what is needed to get families and students back on their feet.
And getting back on their feet is exactly what they're trying to do here in Clarksville and Montgomery County. They are asking anyone who wants to volunteer to contact either the Mosaic Church or the Life Point Church. They are organizing volunteer efforts. They're also closing one of their Red Cross shelters that's been located over at the Northeast High School. They're moving that to a church over on Cunningham Street starting at 2 o'clock today. So if you know someone who is in need of a shelter or place to stay, it is no longer going to be at the Northeast High School. They're moving it over to a church over on Cunningham Street, 225 Cunningham Street to be exact, starting at 2 o'clock this afternoon. We're live for you in Clarksville. I'm Justin McFarland, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station.
And for all of these efforts here that are going on throughout the rest of this week, we have good weather when it comes to no rain. There'll be a couple of snow flurries out in the Cumberland Plateau for just a few folks. This is not going to be a snow event by any means, just a few flurries that are possible. Most of us just see clouds breaking up throughout the day. Sun already coming out in the Nashville area. Cold air is taking over though. There are going to be those shelters that are going to be open in some areas to just help people out that don't have anywhere to go to stay warm. We're going to be very cold tonight. The coldest, well, these tied for the coldest night that we have seen so far this entire season. Overnight tonight, we're going to feel even colder than what we had though. The last time we went down to 22, which is tonight's low temperature, was back on November 28th. And we're going to feel like we're in the teens overnight tonight. Warm up is on the way for us here though for the weekend, 50s to near 60 degrees right now. The faster these little arrows move, the windier we're getting, and that's how it's been all morning long. It's knocked our wind chill into the 20s in our western counties, areas like Paris, Camden, Linden. 35 degrees in Nashville. That number does not match the number on the right side of your screen. The actual air temperature is still near 40. That wind already influencing our forecast. So later today, here comes your 7-day forecast. You're going to have an actual temperature. Maybe you're driving around in your car and you're looking at it. It'll say 46 degrees. You'll walk outside and go, it's not 46 degrees, at least at how it feels. We're going to feel like we're in the middle 30s the entire afternoon, and then that low temperature tonight of 22, and then a high of 42 degrees tomorrow.
Okay, 8:36, so we do want to see what's happening right here with this disabled vehicle that's going to be on the left shoulder at I-65 at Fern Avenue. No flashing lights or any kind of issues other than that vehicle that we're seeing again pulled over on the left shoulder.
Yeah, and I do think it's causing a little bit of a backup in the opposite direction. So this is as you're like coming from Rosa Parks and Metro Center and you're going to jump on I-65 and go north of town. I think the southbound traffic is slowing down just to look. But to your point, Erica, no flashing lights, no crash here, just something to make people pump the brakes, move over and slow down a little bit. Still monitoring the crash that we believe is on Harding Place down southeast of town. Good detour for that if you usually take Harding to get on I-24 would be to take Franklin Limestone Road or just take Murfreesboro Pike up toward Nashville and jump on at the next exit.
A dozen human trafficking victims were rescued over in South Nashville. That is after TBI agents ran a sting operation at the Super 8 motel that's over on Murfreesboro Pike, arresting the person allegedly in control of the victims.
Yeah, and that's the woman you see right here behind us. Police say the victims told them that 50-year-old Yelabeth DeCaldara brought them from sometimes as far away as Central and South America and then kept them from leaving. That investigation continues this morning. DeCaldara will be in court coming up tomorrow morning. But in the meantime, if you know anything about this situation, you're asked to call 1-800-TBI-FIND.
Well, the countdown to Christmas is on, so we're taking a live look over on Lower Broadway, watching our temperatures and looking ahead to this weekend. And we want to thank you for waking up with us every single morning, your only local station with traffic and weather updates live from 4 until 9 a.m.
Came to your house.
We are letting you know about a disturbing story out of Centerville. That's where a man was arrested for shooting and killing a neighbor in what the TBI says may be retaliation for the death of the man's father. The TBI says that 70-year-old Wallace Raidker was shot and killed, and that the investigation led them to his neighbor, 70-year-old David Cathan, as a suspect. But later, Cathan was found shot in his driveway. The TBI now saying that 35-year-old John Raidker, Wallace's son, is under suspicion for this particular shooting. Raidker, by the way, is in custody without bond.
8:42 right now. As we take a look at your forecast, I want to let you know that I did check on the Kroger in Springfield. It is open.
That is great news for folks that got to get those grocery lists knocked out for the holidays.
Such good news. I know as of the end of last week, they were still closed because of tornado damage in Springfield. But again, this morning, that Kroger on Memorial Boulevard is reopened. And, you know, a nice morning to get out and run some errands if you got to get to the grocery store. 9 a.m., 40 degrees, 42 by 10 and 43 by 11. Enjoy those mild temperatures now. The bottom is going to fall out tonight. Greg is going to tell us just how cold it's going to get by this time tomorrow morning. We'll do that in just a few minutes.
Well, weather-wise, it's a great day to get out this morning and run some errands. But what about the traffic? That's where we check in on your Steer Clear traffic update. Looking once again at I-65 at Fern Avenue. This is near the Rosa Parks exit. This is a disabled vehicle pulled on over there. And Jen was talking about how it's not too bad. It's just folks that are slowing down, those looky-loos, if you want to call it that. I-24 at Harding Place, another area that we're watching out for, but the traffic there seems to be all good.
It's 8:43 right now, and continuing coverage of the deadly December 9th tornadoes. Outages across the mid-state, leaving people struggling to get back to normal. We'll share one Madison family's journey to recovery.
And there is a fire that devastated this family's home. All 5 members, though, they managed to get out. We're going to show you more of this video and what first responders are saying about this fire.
Kyle just...
It's really devastating.
Yeah, it has been over a week since the deadly tornadoes devastated parts of Middle Tennessee, showing you some video of what is left behind, because so many families are starting to see the recovery efforts to start help them putting the pieces back together, but there's still a long way to go.
Fox 17 News' Caitlin Miller is in Madison, where she talked with one couple that finally got their power back on this weekend as they work to rebuild their lives.
We spoke with the family that lives in this home right behind me, and they say that they were home when the tornado rolled through, and they told us that a tree went right through the roof where the blue tarp is. Kathy and Daniel Cornwell have lived off of East Campbell Road in Madison for decades.
It's really devastating because nothing like this has ever happened here.
Kathy tells me it's horrible to see the neighborhood go through this. The couple has been living without power until yesterday. She says it's been so cold inside of her home amid the huge amount of damage that they need to take care of.
The roof is going to completely have to be replaced.
They put up tarp to prevent any more water from getting inside. Daniel says it's been a lot of hard work cleaning up the property, but they've gotten a lot of help from volunteers.
There was a crew here yesterday that came from a church in Hendersonville to disassemble it. And they saved all my tools and everything, and they got them in the backyard covered with a tarp.
Daniel says they couldn't do it without all of the amazing support, especially since they're older now. Kathy is concerned that this storm will cause people to move away from this neighborhood.
I think a lot will leave. I really do, because the developers are already in here.
Kathy says it's so sad to see this happen because they've known their neighbors for so many years. This family says that they still have a lot of cleaning up to do, but they're just so thankful that they still have a home. Reporting from Madison, I'm Caitlin Miller, Fox 17 News, your Code Red station. Caitlin, thank you very much. A fire in Montgomery County has now destroyed a home, leaving a family of 5 without a place to live. Let's take a look at the video here coming to us from the Montgomery County Fire Services, telling us that this house was engulfed when they got there right around 2:30 Saturday afternoon. The Red Cross is helping the family. And by the way, we checked Zillow. This house recently sold the beginning of this year. The cause of the fire is still under investigation.
8:48 is the time. We do want to check in with Greg Bobus for that Monday morning forecast. I mean, it's chilly out there.
It's chilly and only going to get colder. Today, right side of your screen is a little deceiving. It says upper 30s and low 40s. We feel like we're in the low to middle 30s because of the wind that's picking up.
Man, that wind chill will really knock you out. Sunday?
Not
Cuts
great.
through you, doesn't it?
Yeah, and it's going to be 30 mile per hour wind speeds later on this afternoon. So even though we'll make it into the 40s, we'll feel 30s overall. I want to give you my first thoughts on Christmas.
Ooh, we'll take it. Look
We're
at
a
those
week out.
Santa.
Now, this will change a little bit. Temperature will change a little. Santa, get your act together. You only got a week. Or at least just maybe one less cookie before you hit that rooftop later on in a week from now. But First glances at the forecast give us this. Morning temperatures right near 50 degrees, afternoon upper 50s, and there is a rain chance for the afternoon. Hour by hour breakdown, we are not there yet, but just plan for the possibility of rain. We are not getting snow for Christmas this time around. That's just not going to be in the cards for us. And as far as that Monday morning forecast treats us, 40 degrees at 9 a.m., 43 at 11, 45 degrees at noon. The wind, average wind speed 15 to 20 miles per hour. Gusts up to 30. So it's going to feel cold, but it'll look a little sunny. We'll break up some cloud cover going in toward the afternoon. And you can even see that happening now on Lower Broadway. Clouds are already breaking up for us. A look at your extended forecast. 46 degrees today. And then there's that really cold night overnight tonight where the wind chill really will get to us. 22 is the nighttime low actual temperature. Factoring in the wind, we're all going to feel like we're in the low to middle teens as you wake up tomorrow morning. Winter coats, winter gear all day long, only 42 for the afternoon. Gradually warming into the upcoming weekend. That's why our snow chance for the Christmas weekend is just not going to be a thing that we can look forward to.
Greg, thank you. Let's get into steer clear traffic right now. Things are really wrapping up this morning nicely. Very few issues out on the roads all morning long. We've got this lone car that's off to the shoulder I-65 at the Fern Avenue overpass. It's not even having much of an impact because traffic volume this morning has been very low. This is I-40 at 46th Avenue. Good morning to all of our Bellevue commuters. Your commute's looking good. It's been great all morning long. No delays here. Hope you have a great start to your morning, especially if you got to leave in the next few minutes. You've got the green light to get out and go.
And talking about traffic happening today, TDOT is set to release more information on their 10-year project plan. So a lot in the making here. The Deputy Governor and TDOT Commissioner Butch Ely, they are going to share more information about the plan. It does include a project map, potential choice lanes, and TDOT's new project prioritization process.
When we say choice lanes, just know those would be tolls. You would have a choice whether to take that, but again, those would be tolls put on some of our mid-state roads. At least that's part of the plan. We expect that announcement to begin momentarily. In fact, we've got a Fox 17 crew on the way to that ceremony, and we'll be bringing you the updates online at fox17.com.
And coming up, one more look at the week leading you into Christmas. 2 looks. Downtown right now looks fantastic. However, very cold tonight. And we'll talk rain chances as we lead toward the weekend. Which day is most likely for Saturday and Sunday?
Running out for
Here's a recap of our top stories this Monday morning. Several Jewish organizations and places of worship receiving bomb threats Sunday morning. The threats were ultimately deemed not credible, but Metro Police say they still checked every building. The Jewish Federation of Greater Nashville responding by saying, quote, "We will not be afraid and we will continue to live proud and joyful Jewish lives."
Metro Nashville police are looking for the man who they say stole thousands of dollars from a bar on Woodland Street yesterday morning. This is the Up Down Arcade Bar. Any information? Call Crime Stoppers.
And Fox 17 News getting some more update from Metro Police, who say speed is being investigated as a factor in a crash that killed a driver and a passenger early Sunday morning. It happened just before 3 a.m. over on Nolensville Pike near Polk Avenue.
Police say that car went off the road, hit a pole, and burst into flames. The medical examiner's office is still working to identify the victims.
And some good news now. More than 7,500 kids who would not have had a Christmas otherwise now have multiple gifts to open, all because of this weekend's last-minute toy store.
Yeah, let's take a look here at this year's massive effort. It ran all weekend long, took all year to plan. The Davidson County Sheriff's Office and more than 1,000 volunteers work year-round to make sure this all happens. We've got gifts for families in need, everything from the new toys to the stocking stuffers, books, games, even gift cards for teenagers. This event draws people helping out from across Middle Tennessee and even from other states.
Because we're all volunteer, we don't have staff promoting and doing all of that out there. It's just word of mouth and grace of God that people hear about it.
Yeah, one person who certainly knows about it, CMA New Artist of the Year, Jelly Roll, the country star rolling up to the last-minute toy store with a huge truck full of gifts. Take a look at that truck right here. Jelly Roll grew up, if you didn't know this, in Antioch, so he certainly knows a thing or two about why this is so important for our community.
Taking a look here outside and everything looking good. I told you all morning long the clouds would gradually begin to break up, and they've been doing that here throughout the last 2 hours. We're cold. Right side of your screen, current temperatures are in the 30s to right near 40. We feel about 5 or 6 degrees colder than what your hometown temp says on the right side of the screen. The wind is picking up. Expect a windy day. We'll have wind speeds up near 30 miles per hour. It'll look beautiful. It won't feel so great when you walk out the door. Just keep that in mind. Today and tomorrow we're cold. Let's take a look at your 7-day forecast. We can kind of all talk about this here because what plans, or I should say what errands might you have to still get done here in the coming days leading up to the Christmas weekend?
I need to get just a few little fun things here and there.
Yeah, a couple little last minute things that are going to tidy everything up?
Yeah, like major purchases are done. We're done.
Good for you.
I'm just looking forward to like the kids being home and not having that hustle and bustle of the school year.
The downtime.
Starting to wind down.
Just a
hopefully, yeah.
I'm gonna be like the McAllister family running down the airport, terminal, trying to figure out the rest I'm gonna do with the rest of my week.
So polar opposite. What about you?
Go ahead.
I'm gonna be the woman at the grocery aisle who is searching for the list of items that my mom has me trying to check off so that she can make everything.
Yeah.
That's my role in this family.